love that I'm still a little bit sore from the moving stuff around from this weekend. Just a little bit. Nothing crazy, but my hip / thigh still hurts. Just a little bit when I move it in certain ways. Same with the upper part of this arm, but I think that's partially because I sleep on my side, so any soreness that's in the arm already is exacerbated by the fact that I sleep on my side. So, yeah, I am a weak little bitch, but we know this. So, my body is not fit, so doing any sort of activity is detrimental. No, it's not. It does. It does a lot of screaming. It screams pretty much constantly. You're correct on that. And yawn. Yes. I yawned right as I turned my mic on. It's funny because I yawn more. I think if I streamed later in the day or longer after I was awake, I'd yawn less, because I do yawn less as the day goes on. So when I stream it, the night streams that I do occasionally, I don't feel like I yawn quite as much during those. But yeah. Only had 4 hours of sleep last night. I feel that. I had, I think, five something last night. I've not been doing my best to go to bed on time lately, but, I was this close to sleeping in and canceling the stream today. But since I won't be streaming Thursday or Friday, I was like, no, I should probably stream. Cat kept me up. He wanted to go outside, thus the new harness. Sorry, up there, something popped up on my stream screen, which was weird. Okay. I actually ate breakfast this morning. I had some toast. So that's an improvement. It's the little things. So, I mean, it's better than what I usually have, which is exactly nothing. So, it is technically an improvement. I don't understand how shit gets into the back of my phone case. That just doesn't make any sense to me. The part of the phone case that the back of the phone is on. I don't understand how that happens. It doesn't make much sense to me, but whatever. I also love that I have a cover on the camera part, but the camera cover part still gets dirty. So it can still cause the camera to look like smudged. It's like, I just have breakfast, lunch at 12 and then dinner at 6:30. Yeah. Lately I've just been eating with Max when Max has dinner, and then I usually eat one more time after Max goes to bed, sometimes two. But in terms of meals, it's usually only one more meal after Max goes to bed. So usually lately it's only been about 2 meals a day plus the occasional like snack. And by snack I mean like some chips. We also haven't had much food in the house lately because we haven't gone to the grocery store in a hot second, so yeah. We're going. No, unfortunately, no. I've got a dentist appointment on Friday, which is up in Lexington. So, yeah. And then we're going to Kings Island, the amusement park, over the weekend. It's looking like it's going to be Saturday because I still haven't heard back from my brother, so, you know. But Max has all of next week off, so we could go Sunday if we wanted to. And then drive back that night or Monday night or whatever, because Kings Island's closer to 6 hours away from here, but it's only 2 hours away from Lexington, so about 2 hours, I should say. So Max has been wanting to go back for a hot second, so yeah. Now I'm thinking, because I still have a tiny bit of tea left in my last vial, but it's not enough for like a full dose, if that makes any sense. It's about maybe half a dose. I'm thinking about maybe using that up before we leave so that I at least have something going on. The number of people waiting longer than 2 years for routine operations in England has fallen from 2,500 at the start of the year to fewer than 200, according to the NHS figure. Oh, that's nice. That's good. But also, like, the NHS, or, like, doctors and stuff stopped performing non-essential things for a while there due to COVID, so that could explain the drop. Huh? Yeah. It doesn't matter what kind of system you have, everything's backlogged, so, yeah. Someone keeps trying to log into my Riot account, but they don't understand that there's a two-factor authentication that it sends to my email, so they can't get in. Ambulances can take hours to get to you. Yeah, ambulances are the one thing here that do get there fast. Ambulances and fire trucks will be the first responders most of the time, and they'll usually be the first one on the scene, generally speaking, unless there happens to be a cop roaming around that's closer by. Yeah, if you call the cops, they may not arrive for a good 2, 3, 4 hours. So, if they deem it non-emergency. Although we do have non-emergency numbers that you can call. If it's like, hey, I need a cop out here, but it's not like urgent or anything, no one's dying, I need a police officer, then you can call the non-emergency line. I don't know what the number for that is. I think it's different in each state. So, but yeah, ambulances and fire trucks are usually the first ones to get on a scene like that because they're usually closer and faster. To say it was a black guy doing it, then they'll be there. Then when they get there, tell them they're all racing. Honestly, yeah, they'll show up in 2 minutes. So. Yeah, I'll probably change my Riot password, but I'm not concerned about it right now. It's not connected to my... Like, it's not connected to anything. Like, you can't access my card or any of that. Like, my credit card or debit card or whatever. You can't access any of that through my Riot account, so... I don't have it saved in my Riot account, so... Which is the only reason I haven't changed it yet, because I'm not as concerned. No, it's actually a different password. Well, it's a different version of the password I use on everything else. So, actually, one of the versions of my password that I use, it has been compromised for a while now. And so I've stopped using it on most things. I don't remember if that's the one I use for Riot, though. I don't remember. Hulu? Oh, are you talking about Hulu emailing me? What about Hulu? I don't have Hulu, so... Haven't had Hulu since graduating college. Was it the same as that one? I don't remember. Probably. I know they tell us not to use the same passwords for everything, but you expect me to remember a bunch of different passwords? I can't even remember Max's debit card PIN number, and they've told me it about 3,000 times. You know. Oh no, that was HBO. HBO was taken over. I'm still upset about that. Because it was my own fault. I could have fixed it. I could have fixed the issue. But instead I made it worse and harder to get fixed. So... yeah. I've got, like, variations of my main one. I have an all-number one. I have an all-letter one that are different from the one that has, like, letters and special characters and numbers, you know? I'm trying to just use randomly generated ones. Yeah, that's definitely safer, but at the same time, using randomly generated ones, usually you have your computer remember it, so it's like, you know, it's safe as long as no one's logging in from your computer, so, or from your browser. You have Bitwarden. So Bitwarden generates the passwords, is what you're saying. I could probably stand to get one of those, but most of the things that I have passwords on aren't important. Like the important things that I have passwords on have a different password from everything else. They do all have the same password, but it's not the same password I use for, like, my YouTube login or my login to Reddit. Like, it's not the same as those. I have a more secure password for the, like, important things, like my bank account and stuff like that, PayPal and Venmo and all those things. So what does that mean? Ah, that makes sense. What if you just did https:// password? Like the word password. That'd be funny. Password.com. That'd be really funny. Smart. Might have to start doing that for some things. Because we all know how garbage my memory is, so, you know. I'm hydrated. All right, shall we start determining who the asshole is? Should we start that now? Am I the asshole for flipping out on my fiance for canceling all the vegan food options from our wedding food menu behind my back? My fiance, 31 male, and I, 25 female, are getting married soon. There wasn't much that disagreed on during the wedding planning except for food. Me and my family are vegans, and there are so many reasons why we choose this lifestyle, and one of them being that we have a history of health issues. My fiancé and his family are the complete opposite. They're hardcore meat eaters, which is fine by me, obviously. However, when deciding on the wedding food menu, I wanted to add 4 to 5 vegan options. My fiancé and his mom objected, saying that it's a waste of money over food that isn't real food. His mom was there? Why was his mom there? This is a you and him conversation. His mom shouldn't be there. Anyways, they also argued that this would be offensive for their guests and suggested my vegan options just be the good old salads and appetizers. His mom wanted cupcakes, lol. I said no because, for one, it's me and my family who's paying, and 2, I want to make my guests feel welcome and not be treated as second-class citizens by being served salad. My fiancé made a face and said, "Isn't that what vegans eat?" I refused to argue about it and said it was final. Should you be marrying this guy? If your whole family is vegan, including you, and how long have you all been engaged and he doesn't understand that yet? I don't think you should be getting married to him. The other day, I found out that he had canceled all the vegan options and took them off the menu, completely and behind my back. I was seething. I called him at work and he kept hanging up on me. A child. I went straight to his workplace and confronted him there and just flipped out on him. He was stunned to see me. At first, He at first said it was his mom's idea, then told me to go home because I was making a scene at the office. The fight continued at home, and he defended himself by saying that I sort of made him resort to doing this after I kept brushing off his thoughts and input, and refusing to accommodate his family. But there were plenty of meat options, so why can't I get 4 to 5 vegan options when I am paying for it? He yelled that it was his wedding too, not my family's. My family said it was fine and they'll figure it out and told me to let it go, but I refused. Yeah, no, they shouldn't let it go. That's fucking rude. Like, there's no, like, you're paying for it. There's no reason to cancel the vegan options. He can pay for the meaty options and you can pay for the vegan options. It's not that complicated, you know? Like, it's not... Okay. Marina flags all over. So he, 1, has no clue what vegans actually eat and no interest in learning. 2, believes having food for your family is offensive to theirs, while having no food for your family is perfectly fine. 3, doesn't respect your input and your money. 4, makes decisions about matters important to you behind your back. 5, either can't stand up to his mom or uses her as a scapegoat. A lot of things to be angry about. Why are you marrying this guy? I'm glad I'm not the only one who thought of that. Okay, let's read the update. Update. So his mom messaged me earlier to try to get me to listen to what she had to say after I kept ignoring her phone calls. She sent long walls of text just to address what I did at her son's workplace, calling it all kinds of stuff from immature to unhinged. She then went on to explain how she's noticed that me and my family kept acting dismissive of her son's input and contributions to the wedding. She said that she noticed my behavior toward him and her entire family wanted to speak up earlier, but didn't and tried to keep the peace. She then went on to address the food menu issue and denied her involvement in the cancellation of the vegan option, but that didn't mean she doesn't support her son's decision. Moreover, she thought it was so responsible of him to make that move because of my continual refusal to see how this stuff is a waste of money. She also pointed out how I kept saying I paid for it. She said that technically this isn't just my money, it's mine and his because we're getting married. She suggested I wisen up and get rid of my money I paid for it mentality. She finally mentioned how bad this whole situation is making me look, and said that she and her son had already offered a number of compromises that I chose to brush off and decided to make it my weird hill to die on. She said that not only her son is upset, but she and the family are as well after hearing about it, and suggested I agree on her compromise and be done with it. This pisses me off beyond belief. I responded by letting her know that I'm still standing my ground on this, even if I have to call the whole wedding off because honestly, this is just ridiculous. My mom and dad, they don't even know what to say anymore. Apparently, my fiance saw my response to her. He's with her, and is not trying to call me, but right now I'm waiting on him to get home and see if he's insisting on the stance he took. Don't marry this man. I don't know who you are. I don't know who he is. Don't marry him. Do not marry this man. I don't care how great the rest of him is. Do not marry this man. Don't do it. Because he doesn't have the balls to stand up to his mother. He's not nice to you. He's not considerate of you and your family. And also, fuck this person. Fuck his mom. Because, no. Just because you're marrying someone does not mean your finances are merged. It's an option you can choose to make, but it's not one I recommend people make. Especially if one person makes far more money than the other, I would recommend keeping your finances separate. At least until maybe you have kids or something like that, and then you can combine it to make paying for kids stuff easier maybe. But, no. Just because you're getting married doesn't suddenly mean what's mine is yours and yours is mine when it comes to money. That's not how that works. It's not how it should work. Do not marry this man. Don't do it. Don't marry him. Do not marry this man. Frankly, I have no idea why his mom feels so strongly about getting involved. I only included in wedding planning only because I respect her, but I guess it's like saying give an inch, they take a mile. This isn't going to be the only thing your marriage will feel they need to get involved in. It doesn't just happen at the wedding. Additionally, your husband has made it clear that he's going to always side with his mother and not stand up for you, which he should do. Or you can just have one joint account. You can still have your own. Apparently, you get benefits from it being joint. I think that's what my parents have. I'm pretty sure they have a joint savings account, and then their own individual finances. But I could be wrong about that. So you and your family are paying, but his mom says salad and cupcakes is fine, so he cancels any food the family paying can eat. I'd cancel the wedding. You're not the asshole. Him and his massive mommy issues are. Yeah. True. He is also, not significantly, but quite a bit older than her. He's 31 years old. This is unacceptable behavior. Not the asshole and easy fix. He canceled the vegan options. You canceled the wedding. Imagine what toxicity imagine what the toxicity will be when you guys have kids and you want to have any type of input on their upbringing. Not the asshole. Not the asshole unless you marry him. He showed you who he is. Believe him. Yeah, go away. The sheer amount of red flags it's a lot. There's a lot of red flags from this. Not the asshole, and honestly, you kind of want to cancel the wedding altogether. He doesn't respect you, doesn't respect your family. He's going behind your back to do something he knows you hate. He's prioritizing his mother's feelings over your needs. I'm not the breakup over anything type of person, but this dude isn't able to handle being an adult relationship with mutual respect, and at his age, that is worrying. Another thing that's worrying is that he's together with a vegan and obviously has no clue what vegans eat. Not only are you the one paying for the food, but a wedding is something you plan as a couple. He felt like you and your family's well-being during the catering wasn't as important as his. Yeah. It being his wedding, too, means that it's supposed to be equal parts his and yours, and he tried to erase you and your family from being served an appropriate vegan meal. I agree. I agree with all these comments. Not the asshole. Okay. Ooh. Spicy. Am I the asshole for returning home after I found out that my husband booked first class for him and his friend while I got economy? Ooh. My husband and I, 30s, haven't been on a trip out of country for years. Well, he goes every year with his best friend. His reasons for going with him is because they both go to attend sporting events. This year, my husband told me I could go with him and his friends since they were visiting a new destination. He paid for my ticket and everything since I am a stay-at-home mom and have no job. The kids were left with my mom. However, when I found out that he had booked first class for himself and his friends while I got economy, I just couldn't hold my tongue. I confronted him about it, and he first refused to discuss. Then when the argument got heated enough, I yelled, I paid for your ticket. He yelled, I paid for your ticket for fuck's sake, isn't that enough? Then kept on about how I should stop acting like I was royalty, that if I come to think about it, even economy is fine for me since I technically don't work anyway. I cried because of what he said, but decided just not to go altogether. He changed his tone and started begging me just to go with what he planned, but I declined. I went to pick up the kids from my mom's house, and he came back 3 hours later huffing and puffing about what had happened. His friend sent me a text calling me entitled and said that this was the reason why he didn't want my husband to take me with them, and I just proved his point. I did not respond, but blocked him since he's gotten increasingly rude over the past few months. My husband said I keep crying about being excluded, and this is what happens when he finally decides to include me. But he didn't include you. You're flying to a different country, and he booked you a seat in a different part of the plane than where he was going to be. Like that's fucked up. Well, she's a stay-at-home mom. That's not necessarily living off of his money. She's doing a job, just not what she gets paid for. And it seems he does probably work a good job since he goes out of the country every year. That's some expensive shit right there. Assuming this is like an American thing here, and not like someone traveling. Like when they say out of country, it's not like someone going from Germany to France, which is not the same thing as leaving the country from America. It just isn't. I don't understand why if he wanted to save money, just book all of you economy. If you're a stay-at-home mom, then all the money he earns is shared funds. There's no him paying. In fact, you paid for his first-class ticket as much as he paid for your economy ticket. The level of disrespect is astounding. Divorce him and get half plus alimony. You wouldn't get a first-class ticket for that route. No, you wouldn't. There would be no need. Once you reach the top of the altitude for flying, you go back down. So, is your husband having an affair with his friend? Why is his friend so rude to you? And why is your friend being treated like the spouse in this situation? Whether or not he's having an affair, he's definitely showing you how he feels about you, not the asshole. Sounds like your husband is more interested in keeping an unpaid and nanny caretaker than a wife, partner, or equal. OP, do you have the option to become more independent in your marriage? Perhaps get a job, side hustle to earn money, etc. Do you have a separate savings account? Who handles all the money in the relationship? Do you have your own social circle that your husband doesn't interfere with? You don't have to answer these questions to me, but please take a long, hard look at your relationship from all these perspectives, and if it comes down to it, please walk away. We all deserve love and respect in any and every relationship. If this post is a reflection of how your husband treats you on a daily basis, please walk away. Agreed. I remember watching a movie about two platonic guy friends who went on trips together each year without their wives. I think there was a mountain. uh. Oh, fuck off. Yeah, there is definitely some level of at least an emotional affair going on with the friend. He bought your ticket? No, you bought your own ticket, because if you are a stay-at-home mom, then 50% of his salary is legally yours. It's not his money to give you. You and he have money together. Please check divorce laws in your jurisdiction. Stay-at-home moms and stay-at-home wives are a huge economic force. He couldn't do whatever he does outside of the home without your labor inside of the home. Yep. Stay-at-home parents are just as important as the parent that goes out to work, if not more. Not the asshole. It's clearly not an issue of affordability. What he did was basically telling, if I'm forced to bring you on this trip, it's going to be on my terms as the breadwinner, and that's kind of fucked up. Yeah. Oh, OP said it's not, and it's not the economy class that I had an issue with. If the three of us sat in economy, that would have been one thing, but having me sit in economy while he and his friend take first class was not something I could do. I may not have money, but I do have self-respect, and I'm sorry if this comes across as arrogant, but I was raised to treat people good and expect to be treated good as well. Yeah, I don't think it was about like, ew, you put me in economy, gross. I think it was why the fuck would you sit in a completely different part of the plane than me? It doesn't make any sense. Not the asshole. Your husband is a jerk. Maybe consider leaving him. Maybe. Especially if this is how he behaves on a regular basis. Okay, another spicy title. Am I the asshole for going home after I overheard my husband say he didn't want to bring me with him to his family vacation? Okay. My husband goes on annual vacations with his family. I'm on okay terms with them, but since we've only been married for a short time and I don't see his family much, we still have that barrier that keeps us from being completely comfortable around each other. His family arranged for the vacation last week. I, out of curiosity, asked if I could come. My husband felt hesitant, but I told him it'd be a great opportunity to get to know his family better. He agreed to take me, and his family were surprised to see me, but still welcomed me. On the third day of the vacation, his dad, mom, brothers, and the spouses were all sitting at a table outside talking while I was preparing a fruit salad. As I was making my way back, I overheard my mother-in-law say that she really have nowhere else to spend the weekend. At first, I had no idea who she was talking about, so I kept on walking, but stopped once I overheard my husband say, I know, and I didn't want to bring her with me, but what was I supposed to do? You know how pushy she can get. I instantly figured it was about me. I felt so shaken up to the point that I almost dropped my salad. Not your salad. This whole time I was there, I cleaned and cooked, looked after the kids, and this is how they think of me, an inconvenience to them. I quietly booked a ticket and went home on the first plane. He called and texted, but I didn't respond. Anything other than let him know I was home. He got back and went off me saying that what I did was disrespectful and juvenile. I told him I overheard the conversation he had with his mom, but he said that I was wrong for eavesdropping and that his family will warm up to me on their terms, so I should stop pushing to be around that when they don't feel comfortable with it. Basically saying it was my fault for coming along in the first place. He said that going home like that made him and his family disappointed and gave them a really bad impression about me. I think I might have messed this up and someone ruined it for them as well. No. Yeah, does he even like you? Yeah, please don't let him gaslight you. Please. It's not like you've been dating for 2 weeks, you're married, and as I understand, the husband's brothers brought their spouses. How else are you going to get to know the family? And to be honest, the fact that your husband didn't defend you and was also talking with them behind your back is kind of a red flag. It's more than a red flag, it's truly a deal breaker. This OP should not stay married to someone who doesn't like her and doesn't want her to include her as part of his family. I completely forgot about the fact that the brothers also brought their spouses with them. So the fact that she was the one being kind of left out, and when she is also a spouse, it's really fucked up. I'm gonna vote not the asshole, leave him. That's what I'm voting. That's what I'm voting on this one. Also, this is top of the week, by the way. It's what I always do, so we always get new posts. Interesting. We've got an asshole one up after this. Am I the asshole for telling my mother-in-law my toddler will not be going with her on a vacation she planned without asking? It doesn't sound like it, no. I have an almost 3-year-old beautiful little girl. Perhaps they are a part of the same culture, unlike her. Maybe, but that's not an excuse. It's not a good excuse, anyways. I might have to take a nap. Jesus Christ. It's like every time I blink or close my eyes, my body's like, go to sleep, go to sleep, go to sleep, go to sleep. So, okay. I have an almost 3-year-old beautiful little girl. She's just a few weeks shy of her third birthday. My baby was out in hospice 4 weeks ago after having gone into remission in late May. Unfortunately, the cancer has returned. Nope, not the asshole. You're not the asshole. You're not the asshole. No, your mother-in-law is trying to bring your sick toddler on a vacation not approved by you. No, unacceptable. Unacceptable behavior. Unacceptable behavior. Absolutely not. Okay, I'll read the rest of the post. Unfortunately, the cancer has returned, except it is now crushing her optic nerve and it's about 8 centimeters long. Multiple doctors recommend we make our daughter as comfortable as possible, as they do not believe removing the tumor is a good option. I have so much to say in regard to her diagnosis, but heartbroken will suffice for now. Childhood cancer is the fucking worst shit. And to me is like one of the big things that makes me think that if there is a God, he's a complete and total jackass. Because free will or not, a loving God would not allow cancer to kill children. You know what I mean? Or create bugs that the only function of them is to burrow into the eyes of children. Like, that's not something an all-loving, all-powerful God would do. So, God's a dick if he exists. So, or if they exist. Whoever's running the show is a fucking jackass. And I'll say it to their face if I ever see them. My husband and I have been making tons of memories with her for the past few weeks. We've included family in some of these memories, but we both feel that we want to spend as much time with our daughter as possible, obviously. My mother-in-law called me yesterday to tell me she booked tickets, hotel, airfare for a trip next month. I thought it sounded fun until she said she was taking our toddler with her. Just her, my daughter, and her husband. She did not invite my husband and I. Absolutely not. My daughter isn't even 3 yet. She's never stayed overnight anywhere, and mother-in-law wants to take her for one entire week across the country alone. She's also fucking sick. I suggested that my husband and I both go that way our daughter is comfortable, and for God's sake, in the event she dies, she can't be gone for a week. Her nurses are here. Her care is here. I suggested, what if we all go for a shorter amount of time? I came up with various suggestions, to all of which were turned down. I should add that if my daughter was not in hospice, she would still not be comfortable with our toddler. I would still not be comfortable with our toddler being across the country for a week alone without her parents. My child being in hospice adds another layer of complexity to the situation. I told my mother-in-law that her decision that she made alone without consulting us was a solid no. She called me a few names and hung up on me. She then called my husband and called me a few names and suggested she would fight for her rights before my daughter dies. I'm already grieving. My husband said we should acquiesce to his mother's trip to avoid drama, even though he agrees our daughter is too young. But I want to spend time with her before the cancer takes her. She's too little, etc. I said no for various reasons, not just to say no. Plus, her traveling, if it's a cross-country thing, that means she's going to have to fly. And someone being ill and flying can be really detrimental to their health. I don't know what kind of cancer you have, but you said there's some sort of cancer sitting on her optic nerve. And so the pressure change of being in an airplane could cause that to, I don't know, could potentially cause that to be worse or kill her. I'm not a doctor, I don't know, but I do know that that change in altitude causes lots of health issues for lots of people. And that kind of altitude change in an airplane, especially at the speed an airplane moves, can cause a lot of health issues for perfectly healthy people. So, yeah. If she wants to spend time with your sick kid, she can do it in the fucking hospice with everyone else. Okay. Edit. Thank you to everyone who took the time to share their thoughts and insights. I appreciate the outpouring of messages, and I'm sorry I haven't had the chance to reply to them all. I wanted to add a few things. My mother-in-law lives in the same country as us, in the same city as my parents. It's only about a 20-minute drive without traffic. However, my in-laws have always been very adamant that we visit them, so I usually take my daughter over every other week for a few hours for a visit. Rarely do they ever come to our home. My parents like to visit and always have. My daughter is much closer to my parents for this reason. Anytime my husband and I go on date nights, my parents come over and watch her because they like for her to be in her comfort zone. This is before the cancer. Since the cancer diagnosis, we've been in and out of the hospital for weeks at a time. My parents have still been very much involved with helping, but I'm in the form of dropping off meals, helping with laundry, etc. I'm very close to my family, and my family has been very respectful of us needing space as a family during this time. I think my in-laws may be expediting guilt because they haven't made as much of an effort to visit us, see us, or accommodate us. It's always about what I, their daughter-in-law, can do for them. And I've always felt like an incubator who's just there to facilitate a relationship between them and my child. Also to add, I I am set on distancing myself as much as I can. I've cut off contact with my mother-in-law, and I do not want her around after this fiasco. I've completely blocked her from my phone, and I communicated this to my husband. He is sad, but he says he understands. That's good, at least. A few of you mentioned that this was an eye-opening situation, and it really has been on many levels. Second edit. I saw various comments about mother-in-law possibly wanting to take my child on a trip to get her alternative treatment. Mother-in-law planned to take my child to Disney World in Florida, which is across the country from where we live. Mother-in-law lives in the same state and same county as us. My husband and I have taken our child to Disneyland a few times in our life, and most recently. Going for one day was exhausting, and my daughter was spent after a day. I can't imagine my daughter handling Disney World for more than a day, but also I would like to be there for said trip. Even if my child wasn't dying, I would still not be comfortable with her going without me. It's such a bizarre situation. Mother-in-law isn't one for alternative treatments, and I haven't outright asked her, but I wouldn't be shocked at this point. Either way, my child isn't going anywhere with her, supervised or not. I've already made it clear to my husband she wants to come and visit. It will have to be at our home. Even then, I'm still not on board after everything that has transpired. I've been thinking really deeply the last few months, and even more so in the last 24 hours. I don't know how I can continue being part of this family. I'm trying not to think too far ahead, but I'm seriously doubting on continuing in this marriage. Thank you again, everyone. I don't know that you need to leave your husband, because he seems to be understanding. He's not being like, well, you should just forgive her, you're being a bitch. You know, like, he gets it, he understands. As it might disappoint him that he's probably more disappointed in his mother-in-law being a cunt than you blocking her out of your life, because he definitely understands. He definitely seems like he's trying to play devil's advocate, but at the end of the day, it seems he's sided with you. I don't think this is like, if there's other reasons you want to leave him, go for it. But I don't think this is that. I don't think this is one of those situations, because at the end of the day, he understands why you've made your decision and stands with you on that decision, and that's really all you can ask him. Okay, one more edit. Third edit. I'm really close with my family, specifically my mom and aunt. I know the wishes I have for my daughter. My husband and I argued about where our daughter should be buried for a good week. It was awful. He wanted her buried with his grandmother, where his parents and him will be buried. I wanted her buried at the cemetery with my grandparents are buried at, and where I plan to be buried at. My husband is in the military, so I'm confused as to why he does not want to be buried with his combat brothers, but that's entirely up to him. After the fiasco with his mother, I put my foot down about where I would like my daughter's final resting place to be. I just never thought it would be so much back and forth about where she will be buried. The week-long trip we weren't invited on or consulted about, and acquiescing, sure, his mother's wishes. Shit said, to say the least. I love my husband, but I'm appalled by his behavior. I should also add that my family was very supportive about where I wanted my daughter to be buried at when the topic came up. They even said wherever we want, because it's not their choice. I even entertained cremation just to try to come to a middle ground of sorts. I didn't even want to discuss burials and cremations until I absolutely had to. I've been avoiding it. Now it feels morbid to discuss it because my daughter is still alive. My husband's family was upset when they brought the topic up because I didn't automatically want my daughter at their cemetery of choice. Their main argument was that my daughter carries their last name, so she should go there. My argument was my family already has 4 open plots, and I want to make one a double for me to be when my time comes. I'm even exhausted writing this because this is my life, and it shouldn't be. We should be a team, united in grief, and now I feel like all I have is my baby and my family to hold me up. Well, at least your family is nice. At least your side of the family is supportive and helpful and there for you. I'm glad you're not alone and truly alone in this. I'm glad you have your family with you. And it's really fucked up that that's even a conversation you'd have before she's dead, because you never know. She might pull through. You never know. It's definitely possible. Stranger things have happened. Even though it's likely she won't, it's still technically possible. And the fact that that's something that you wanted to avoid is absolutely understandable. And I can't even imagine being in a situation like this. I can't, especially if, like, as the mother, like, I can't imagine carrying a child for 9 months inside of you, birthing that child or raising that child, and that child dying before the age of 5. Like, I can't imagine how horrific that must be. And to have to deal with all this horseshit in the process, it's just, you don't deserve that kind of treatment. And I would completely understand if you just up and took your daughter to your parents' house and just stayed there until she was gone. Because you don't, like, when you have a dying child, that is the only thing that should be on your mind, and you shouldn't have to be worried about all this other shit. And it's really fucked up that your family-in-law, that they're doing all of this. It's so fucked up. It's so fucked up. Nope, just no. She wants to take your terminally ill daughter across the country for 7 days, and your husband would rather go along with it than tell his mommy no. Has everyone in your life lost their damn minds? Absolutely not. Your daughter isn't going anywhere without you, period. I would never be able to forgive myself if something happened to my daughter while she was gone if I were in that situation. OP, your husband is being ridiculous even by suggesting that you just go along with it. This is your child. No one should feel entitled to take her for that amount of time when she's already on hospice. Yeah. Under no circumstances do you do this. Remind your husband that if she does start drama, she will be using your dying daughter to do so. I can't think of a more vile and selfish way to act towards a family that is suffering a tragic loss. Not the asshole, and tell your husband to get his shit together. You don't take a 3-year-old on hospice on vacation without their parents. Yeah. Him and I had a discussion this morning, this was 2 days ago, while our daughter was still asleep. I told him that I currently do not foresee myself staying married to him once my daughter is gone. Not after this. Not if he doesn't stand up for his daughter, his wife, and our family. He looked pretty shocked, but I'm pretty set on not having anything to do with his family, and him included. I thought him and I were a team, but he's been spineless with his mom most of our marriage, and I'm usually the one who is setting boundaries. I think my daughter having cancer and being in hospice is what broke the camel's back. I mean, yeah, but even if your marriage had been perfectly healthy, most couples split when they lose a child. That's super common, super understandable. It's an incredibly common thing, like especially when you lose a child that young. It's incredibly common for the couple to break up, even if there are no prior issues. And if this is how he's behaved most of your marriage, you should absolutely kick him out of your life once she's gone. Keep him around while she's still there, so she still has her dad there. But after she's gone, so should he. He should also be gone. Absolutely. Completely valid. It's amazing the clarity you get when someone shows you who they are under life and death circumstances. You're an incredible woman, OP, and an amazing mom. All the best to you. Do not fly. Your daughter has a tumor on her optic nerve. Depending on the size and location, could be extremely painful or even fatal to her. Talk to her doctor to clear her for any extended travel, especially flights. Spend time with your daughter. Go to a Build-A-Bear and get one of those bears that lets you do a voice recording. Keep it away from husband and his family. Take some of your daughter's old clothes and have her help you make a quilt together. Don't just make a memory. Make something you'll be able to anchor yourself with. I think I don't want biological children. We all know why. But say I was born cisgender and had the ability to get someone pregnant, I think I would maybe want my own child, like a biological child. If my partner wanted to carry a child, of course. If she didn't want to do that, then we would just go adopt a child. But I can't imagine this. Like, this is quite literally worst case scenario. You know what I mean? Like, I'd rather have a child born fully disabled in every capacity than be born with cancer, because at least the disabled child might live past the age of 5, you know? Like you can do something about the disability. You can't really do much with cancer. And I cannot imagine that kind of life, you know? Like I said, to have to put up with all this horse shit at the same fucking time is just, there aren't words to describe how unacceptable that is. Not the asshole, obviously. I have so much to say about this, but most of it would get me banned. What kind of grandmother would suggest taking her dying toddler granddaughter, who is already in hospice, away from the child's parents for even one of these final precious days in order to spend time with her, rather than suggesting spending that time together as a family, including grandma? Worse yet, what kind of grandmother would threaten to waste precious moments of your last days with your daughter with a court case that no sensible lawyer would even consider taking? It's so ridiculous. Visitation rights are one thing, but the idea that she has a right to take your child who is currently in hospice away on vacation for a week without you across the country is absolutely ludicrous. No such rights exist, and for her to even be talking about wasting your time, energy, and focus and money on a court case, whether it happens or not, is beyond obnoxious. There would be absolutely nothing wrong with her wanting to spend time with her granddaughter, or, as you so lovingly suggested, wanting to do a short trip together as a family, something that your daughter could physically handle, and that would be a special memory. But this selfish nonsense, as if a not quite 3-year-old would even want to be apart from her mother and father when she feels rotten and everything is confusing. As someone who has been chronically ill most of my life, I can assure you the way your daughter is feeling these days, she doesn't want to be anywhere without you, not even with her grandmother. Mom and dad are her comfort and her safety. You are not the asshole. Stand your ground. Your mother-in-law is being horrifying, and there is no excuse for it. Could not be put better. Not the asshole. No is a complete sentence. What the fuck are they thinking? Tell your husband no more negotiations. The end. Yeah. I think being a mama's boy is one thing it's fine when you're young, but once you become an adult and start dating, you need to grow out of that, because that is in my opinion a red flag if you're still a mama's boy as a full ass grown adult. That's just a massive red flag to me. Or a daddy's girl or a mommy's girl, whatever. Same applies for girls. If you are so attached to your parents that you let them make your life decisions when you're a full-grown adult, that is a massive red flag. Especially when you let them make decisions about your life and your spouse's life and your kid's life. That is not acceptable behavior unless you're literally going to them for advice because you and your spouse don't know what the fuck to do. Like, it's such a big red flag. It wouldn't even fit in this room. Like, it's a massive red flag. Okay, the OP responded to this one, so I'm going to read this one, and then we'll move on to the next one, because this is depressing. Not the asshole. First, I'm heartbroken for you. Second, regardless of health, a 3-year-old isn't really ready for a week-long trip without mom and dad. Add to the fact that she's in hospice, and she has needs that mother-in-law could not possibly provide on her vacation. Your mother-in-law is not entitled to what I'm sure she calls her baby. OP replied, she has said on multiple occasions that, quote, no one is going to miss her baby as much as she is. I just sit there thinking what is going to happen when my daughter passes and I'm falling apart. Who's going to hold me up? Right now, my daughter is my motivation, but once she's gone, I don't even foresee myself being able to get out of bed. I've been a stay-at-home mom to her my entire life. I left my career to be at home with her. I don't even remember what my life was like before I had her. I feel like my mother-in-law is going to make my daughter's death about her, and I don't know if I'll even be able to handle it. I need you to find a way. I don't know what, get a restraining order. I need you to get this fucking woman out of your life, because no one is going to miss her baby as much as she is. Bitch did not carry the child. Bitch did not quit her job to take care of the child. That is not her baby. That is so... No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. She's lucky I'm not a friend, because Grandma would be meeting some fists. That's so fucked. She replied to this one as well. Not the asshole, I cannot fathom this, and I know your mother-in-law is grieving as well, but this is not the way for her to handle it. I know internet words ring hollow, but please stay strong and love the heck out of that little girl for as long as you can. Mother-in-law is definitely grieving. I suggested to her various times that she seek someone else to grieve or vent to, because she often believes and acts like our grief is the same as, and that she's going to have a mother's broken heart. My therapist has also told me that her and I are not in the same circle of grief. Even my own mother doesn't act like that. My own mother has even told me she cannot fathom being in my shoes because she's never lost a child. It's a twisted situation, and I feel like when my daughter is gone, I want to be as far away from this family as possible, my husband included. Absolutely. Get out of there, start your life over. Go back to your career, find something to do, because it's not going to go away. It's not going to be... Obviously, I'm not speaking from experience, but I do know people who have gone through stuff similar to this. And it's just like losing a family member, but it's 3 times worse because it's your child. And that feeling of waking up in the morning and not knowing what to do and not having that child around, it's not ever going to go away. And if you're also surrounded by garbage in-laws and a garbage husband, it's just going to make it harder to grieve and harder to move on and get back to doing life. And so absolutely 100% throw the whole family out, move maybe, like maybe you and your parents can move to a different state or something and just fully start over, because that's just, I can't imagine. I can't imagine having to deal with any of this, but then to add shitty ass mother or family-in-law on top of that, that's too much at once. That's too many things. No, no, no. I'd have half a mind to notify hospital security and the local airport at the very least that this person has expressed clear intent to abduct this child and tell them it's very clearly not allowed to happen. Yeah. Yeah. I'm glad she's in therapy, though. I'm glad she said she's in therapy, because I can't imagine doing this without being in therapy. Like, not no speed run today is all. I'm thinking I might maybe tonight or tomorrow night, like have a nighttime stream maybe. But it really just depends on how I feel. That last story is still a lot. Like that's a lot to unpack. I can't, like I said, I can't imagine dealing with any of that by itself, like dealing with shitty in-laws or a dying child at one time, but both of them together is just, no. Spend every second with that child, and then the moment she's gone, bury her, cremate her, whatever you want to do, and get the fuck out, because I can't imagine having to be around a grandparent or an in-law, your mother-in-law, who thinks that the loss of her grandchild is just as painful as the loss of your child. Unacceptable behavior. Unacceptable behavior. Unacceptable behavior. No. Unacceptable behavior. Okay, let's move on. Depressing ass dead children aside, let's go to this asshole labeled post. Oh, this is the same one we've already read. Why is it in this week? Did they repost it this week? Okay. We already read that last one, so we're going to do this one instead. Am I the asshole for taking my wife's side after she screamed and cursed at my mother? Iconic. I just want to start off and say, iconic. We love it. What did mom do? This just happened and my wife is currently sleeping while my mom is blowing up my phone. I'm 33 male, and married to my wonderful wife, Melody, 29 female, and she is currently pregnant with our first child together. I have a 6-year-old daughter who's... Your 6-year-old's name is Tina? That's an old person name. I'm sorry. I have a 6-year-old daughter, Tina, whose mother and I split 50-50 custody with, so I know for the most part what Melody needs in order to feel supported while she carries our child. I've been spending lots of time making sure she's comfortable and taking on more of the load at home so she's not doing too much. This is her first child after all, and it's obviously a lot for her physically and emotionally. I'm so happy to see an understanding man, because there are so many garbage men out there. So many. We are such a garbage species, us men. I mean, full offense to all of the men out there, who would just tell their wives to suck it up and, and shit like that. And I'm so happy you're actually being supportive of her. And I'm very excited to hear about this argument with your mother. That sounds absolutely lovely. Not biased for once. Oh, not at all. I'm not in any way biased. Men are gross. Men are disgusting. Men are terrible. And I don't know what you want from me. I mean, humans in general are terrible, but, you just see so many more bad men stories out there than you do bad women stories. You know what I mean? Like women can be toxic as well, obviously. I'm not saying women are perfect or anything, but it's a different kind of toxicity, if that makes any sense. The way women are toxic is usually different from the way men are toxic. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? I feel like that makes sense. My mother and Melody don't get along well. My mom didn't like my ex either. We broke up because we were headed on different paths, not because of my mother. There's no bad blood. So I think she just doesn't like her because she's dating me for whatever reason is weird. Okay. She's very nitpicky about Melody, how much she does around the house, how emotional she is. Melody already cries very easily, and being pregnant has just made her even more sensitive, which is fine. Absolutely understandable. Even the most cry-free of women will cry while pregnant. Completely understandable. I get it, but you nearly always throw men into the bad category. I mean, yeah. Because in this subreddit, the men are almost always garbage. So this subreddit is just riddled with red flag relationships. So, and there are plenty of red flag women on this subreddit as well, but it's far more common that the husband is a pile of trash. But in this case, we have a non-pile of trash husband who does not need to get in the bin, and we support him in that. Okay. The The fact that she wants to be a stay-at-home mom, it just seems like nothing Melody does is okay. I do have her stand up for her and do not just allow my mom to talk down to her. I mean, in general, absolutely. Today, before picking up my daughter from seminar camp, Melody went to 3 different grocery stores to find rotisserie chicken. She's been talking about it since last night and really wanted one. She sent me a picture, messages documenting her quest for chicken, and finally found it. My girl was happy. Rotisserie chicken is also kind of a comfort food for her, like spaghetti, because her mom used to make one of those when she was having a lazy day and didn't feel like cooking. She was planning on serving that with some other basic sides for dinner, perfectly fine by me. My mother came to see Tina and started telling Melody that chicken is bad for her and should not be eating that pregnant. Melody said it's fine, she usually eats healthy and just wants this one thing she's craving. Yeah, pregnancy cravings are legit, man. My mom went on about how unhealthy it was and said she needs to eat something else. Melody said no and went to the backyard to FaceTime her family out of state. When she came back, my mom had thrown out the food and ordered takeout. Oh, your mother is lucky she's alive. She's lucky she's alive. Your mother is so lucky Melody is not a violent person, because I don't know if you all know any women out there who will swing first, ask questions later, but if you do, imagine her pregnant with a massive craving she's had for several days, with the food in her grasp, and then it being thrown away. Imagine what would happen in that situation. This bitch is so lucky Melody is not a violent person. Ooh. Because, like, I'm not even pregnant, but when I get a craving for something, it's all I can fucking think about. And it's all I can think about until I get it. And if I get it and I get it wrong and they serve the food to me wrong or something, it's like this massive, like, oh, why? You know, and I'm not even pregnant, so I can't even imagine what that's like with all the pregnancy hormones and everything. Because pregnancy cravings are very different from any other cravings, and that's including, like, menstrual cravings, and just standard cravings. They are strong. I have heard many a story of pregnant women who are craving something and them not having access to it just causes them to burst out in tears outside of their control. She came back, my mom had thrown out the food and ordered takeouts, a salad for Melody, and a pizza for everyone else. Melody asked where the chicken was, and my mother told her she needs to start being a responsible mother and eat correctly for the baby. Melody screamed, "What the fuck is wrong with you? Why are you always such a bitch to me?" Then she started crying and called me home. I came back and asked my mother to leave after hearing her story and said she is not to come back until she apologizes for how she treated Melody. My mom went on about how I'm choosing another woman over her, as you should. That's a really weird way to state that. Your mother's creepy and weird. But I just think enough is enough, and Melody has reached her limit. She apologized to me for blowing up when Tina was in the house, but I told her it's okay, things happen. Tina is okay, and I went to find her another chicken before the store closed. We love an iconic husband. Huh? My dad thinks I'm right for taking Melody's side, but my brother thinks I should always defend mom. Your dad agrees with you? Your dad agrees with you. Oh, all of the men in your family are, well, not all of them, but I see where you got your good genes from. You got them from your father. I love that your dad agrees with you, that your mom's a fucking bitch. Oh, that's amazing. No, not the asshole at all. Your mother is a complete cunt and needs to fuck off and get out of your business. Also, what kind of... You're choosing another woman over me. You're his mother. That is such a weird thing to say to your son. That is so fucking weird and creepy. Stop. Not the asshole. Okay, edit. Okay, not to be that guy, but I did not expect this to get so much attention. I woke up to so many notifications, and I'm going to try to go through as many as I can. In the meantime, I don't know why my brain skipped down 4 lines. I woke up to so many notifications. I'm going to try to get through as many as I can. But wow, thank you guys for all the support and awards. Melody loves all the kind messages from all of you, especially the mamas and soon-to-be mamas who get it, as she put it. 1, my mom claimed it was the seasoning and fat grease that made the chicken bad for her. It's all BS, but that's what she claimed. It doesn't really matter what, like, there's some foods you're not really supposed to eat when you're pregnant, but at the end of the day, it really doesn't really matter what you eat as long as you don't smoke or drink. As long as you are fed, that is really all that matters. I'm sure there's some foods out there that you really should avoid or eat in moderation, but I'm not a doctor, so I'm not going to speak on that. But from my knowledge, most foods are generally fine while you're pregnant, especially in moderation. 2, I do not plan on having a sit down with both my parents and my brother with my mom. A lot of you have mentioned emotional incest, which is creeping me out, and other things along these lines that need to be addressed. I'll talk to my dad first, then have a family meeting. A lot of you asked why. I would still want my mom around, and honestly, maybe I'm just weak, but that's my mother. However, if she cannot learn to change or respect my family, then we will just have to go to North Carolina. Is that what that means, North Carolina? It's hard, but it is what it is. Melody doesn't even want to completely cut her out. She just wants change as well. But I will protect Melody at all costs, even if that means cutting off my mom. Then so be it. An icon. An icon. An icon. An icon. We stan. You know, the bar is so low for men in my mind. It is beyond, it is in the floor. It's not just on the floor. The bar is in the floor for men in this subreddit. He's just being a good husband. This is what you're supposed to do as a husband, as a partner. This is your job as a partner. You're supposed to stand with your partner in all situations, unless they are completely and totally in the wrong. Like, you are supposed to stand with them, especially against your shitty fucking parents. Like, but the bar is just so in the floor that this man seems like Superman. You know what I mean? Like, this subreddit's just the men in this subreddit. Like, excluding all of the other men in the world, just the ones we read about in the subreddit, the bar is in the floor, you know what I mean? Like, good on this man for actually not being a bitch. Some people ask about our culture. We are Black Americans, so I think it's more of a mom-son thing than a cultural thing. Good to know, good to know. Oh, I skipped 3. 3, my ex and I did not break up because of my mother. We had different ideas of where our lives were going. Tina was not planned, and we were already heading towards our separate ways before she got pregnant. We tried to make it work for Tina, but that's not what relationships are about, so we split, and it's working great. That's good. You shouldn't stay together just for your kids. That's not... Believe me, I mean, I don't have divorced parents, but my parents have a very good relationship with one another, which is disturbing to me because they usually use that relationship against me, but they're a team, but they team up against me. But I'm telling you right now... Hey, Max! Can you come here for a second?
What is it?
Do you think your family would have been better off if your parents had gotten divorced? Other than having whatever the fuck kind of relationship your parents had with one another.
I think I would have had a dramatically different life. In some ways that would be quite positive. I don't know. I don't really know how to answer that question because I didn't have that life.
Mm-hmm. I can't answer it at all because, as we've spoken about, my parents are actually a team.
Yeah.
This is just, we found a good man in the Am I the Asshole subreddit. A good husband who stood up for his wife against his shitty mother. Wow. Iconic. He had a previous relationship with a woman. They were already heading their separate ways when she got pregnant. And they decided not to stay together just for the kid, which is absolutely the correct decision because I know a lot of people that have divorced parents that divorced because the parents didn't get along and they would much rather have their parents separated from one another than deal with the horseshit of them being mean to each other or not working together. It is a much healthier relationship to just spend time with mom and spend time with dad than to spend time with them together not liking each other. You know, like that is the correct decision to make. This seems like a well-rounded man. And my favorite thing about this story... so the mother-in-law is a dickhead. The wife is pregnant right now and was having a chicken craving and wanted her some rotisserie chicken, and the mother-in-law threw the rotisserie chicken away because she doesn't like Melody. She doesn't like the wife. And she thinks the wife should eat better or whatever. It's a rotisserie chicken. Calm the fuck down.
Rotisserie chicken and she's fucking pregnant.
She's pregnant and craving food. Leave her alone. She threw the food away. Melody finally broke and yelled at her, told her she was a bitch, and told her to fuck off, basically. And mom was really sad and upset. And then the husband agreed with his wife, and so did the dad. So did his dad.
Fantastic.
Dad knows how crazy his wife is. When I saw that he said, my dad thinks I'm right for taking Melody's side, I was just like, an iconic couple of men. We love to see it. He knows his wife is in the wrong, and we love to see that. He knows he married her. He knows she's a crazy bitch, and we love a self-aware guy. You know what I mean?
At the very least, he understands that as a husband, it is your job to not openly berate your wife.
Yeah,
So
that's not how that
you
works.
gotta be a team.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
I figured I'd ask just because your living situation was far different from mine, because your parents have never really, or not never, but they've not been a team in a while. I think they're closer to a team these days, though. Would you say that?
I think, I don't really know. He doesn't interact. So I really don't know anything about him. So I really can't say anything about him, honestly.
I just figured your opinion on this would be closer to accurate and representative than mine, because, like I said, my parents are perfectly healthy together for the most part. So about as healthy as a couple can get. So
yeah. I don't know. My parents are weird. I don't really know.
This outfit is really doing it for me, Max.
It's an amazing outfit, right?
The button-up and the baggy sweatpants and the squirrel socks.
I mean, you used to wear button-ups and joggers, so how different is this really?
Well, I didn't wear those type. I wore, like, joggers that looked like pants, not joggers that looked like sleep pants. So.
I think I look fucking amazing.
I think you look great. I think you look super comfortable, but also ready to have a Zoom meeting at any time.
I did have a Zoom meeting at any time.
I wish you could see this. I do. I wish you could see it. Because it's...
I mean, I can come closer.
Well, no, I'd have to switch to the Canon for you to be able to get a full frame shot, which I should be able to do. You look comfortable, but also business ready.
We'll see if it works.
Yeah,
There
stand
we go.
back there.
Yeah. See, I've got my sweatpants on, and I also have on, see, I've got my cloak hidden in plain sight, gay sweatpants on. But I've also got this button-up on because, you know, I had a meeting. I guess I should come down here so you guys can see my face. I had a meeting, so I had to wear a button-up, but obviously they can only see me from, like, here up. So, you know, not really a lot of point in putting on slacks just for a meeting. So I've got my my comfy sweatpants. Lovely sweatpants.
My sweatpants.
They're mine now. They don't fit you.
They fit me fine. I just can't
That's
wear
right.
them.
They fit you, but they're not comfortable for you anymore.
Black trousers are black trousers.
Exactly. It's fine. I was wearing black trousers before I changed into this, so no difference is made.
He said, see, there are non-toxic men. I have never said that there aren't non-toxic men. I just say men, TM, are trash. Men, as a species, as a whole, disgusting. You know what I mean? Not every man is disgusting, just a lot of them. Especially in the subreddit. Just the bar for the men in the subreddit is in the floor. So, you know, that's just specifically the men that are mentioned in the subreddit. The bar is so low. It's so low. It's so low. I would say the bar for men around the world is probably higher than in the floor, but not much higher than in the floor. You know, like, you can't, like, you know, I'm sure we've all heard the phrase, a good man is your average woman. I'm sure we've all heard that phrase, because it's true. Look at a woman, and then look at how her friends treat her. On the average, in the average situation, the way that those girls treat her, he should be treating her better. And a lot of times, he doesn't, and that's a problem. You should be treating her better than her friends. Obviously, it's going to be a different relationship, but if they can go to the store and pick up a rotisserie chicken for their pregnant best friend, so can fucking you as the father of that child. You know what I mean? Like, which he did do. He went and got her another chicken after the mom threw it out.
Good.
Before the stores closed. It was really cute because he said she'd been craving it for several days. She went to 3 different stores to get one and was constantly updating him on her quest.
That's adorable.
It's so cute. I'm loving this. I'm loving this a lot. The straights are being okay in this post. It's lovely. This could be posted in the straights being okay, and it would be absolutely worth it. So, yeah. Melody called her mother-in-law a bitch, and we stand with Melody. He named his child Tina. His 6-year-old child is named Tina. And that's the exact face I made when I saw that. I had to stop for a moment, because that's an old person name. One of my dad's sister's name is Tina, and she's old. So, I think she's younger than him. Or is she older than him? I don't know where she falls in the because I always forget she exists, because she still lives at home with her parents. So, I always forget that she exists, to be honest with you. So, anyways, maybe I should go back to the post. Thank you for your input.
Yes.
When do you get off?
I'm supposed to get off. Well, I was supposed to get off at 5, but I've got some stuff to do, so.
Okay, cool. No
I
worries.
don't know when I'm gonna get off.
Just come get me when you're done.
Okay, we'll do.
At what point does a name become modern again? Once all the old ones die. I don't know. I don't make the rules on that personally. It just, Max also making the same face about the 6-year-old being named Tina made me feel better about myself. So, okay. My ex and I did not break up because of mom. We tried to make it work for Tina, but that's not what our relationship was about, so we split, and it's working great. My ex and Melody get along great. Tina is happy, and we work through things as one big blended family. Oh, I love that for you. I genuinely do. My ex and Melody have talked about my mother with each other before, and that was when I realized I needed to see a therapist to work through my childhood with my mom. With a mom like mine. It's a process, and I'm working through it as best as I can. I love that your ex and your now wife are friends and, like, can bitch about your mom together. That must be very cathartic for your wife and for your ex, because like he said, his mom didn't like his ex either. So I love that for them. I love that you all are kind of one big family. That's really cute. I love that. And that it's like it was an amicable mutual breakup because y'all just needed to go your separate ways for whatever reason. I love that for you all. And I'm glad you're in therapy. Therapy is very important, and it's something not enough men do, which is why there's so many garbage men out there. I'm telling you, if men had mandated therapy, there'd be far healthier men out there. The bar for men would not be so low. You know what I mean? 4, some people asked about our culture or Black Americans. Yeah. 4, not sure how to update. Someone please comment and let me know. But die. Yes, I killed it. Fuck you, you fucking piece of shit. Sorry, a gnat. We haven't had the exterminator come in a while because our house was full of a bunch of extra shit. So we'll be having him come next week after we're back. So okay. I'll update after I speak to my dad and have a family meeting. Lots of you recommended Just Know Mother-in-Law and Raised by a Narcissist. I think those are the page names. I'll definitely check them out. Melody's pregnancy is going smoothly for the most part, just exhausting and emotional, as she put it. Also, we're having a girl. We had our gender reveal last week. For those who are wondering, thank you for all the well wishes. Edit 2, I did find her another chicken yesterday night after this whole fiasco. Thanks for everyone who recommended we get a Costco card. That way she won't have to go on another chicken quest. I love this. I'm glad you went on the hunt for chicken to replace the one your mother trashed. Great husbanding on your end, OP. What the fuck is wrong with your mom, though? I couldn't let her 3-store quest be for nothing. She was dying for that chicken. I have no clue what's up with my mom. I want her to be able to be in my children's lives, but we need some serious boundary work. I don't know what to do. Gender reveals are fine, as long as you're not burning anything down. In my opinion, I think it is absolutely fine, especially if you want, like, I don't know, if you want to adhere to the gender conformity of the society and you want to, like, I don't know, paint the room blue because you're having a boy or whatever. I don't give a shit. That's fine. Most kids turn out to be cis, so it's really not a big deal in my opinion, as long as you support your kids when they come out as trans, if they come out as trans. And as long as you're not burning anything down to do the gender reveal, the basic simple cake or color popper, like, is absolutely more than enough. It's just a fun little thing that the straights love to do. And I have no issue with gender reveals personally as a trans person. I have no issue with it. As long as you're not causing property damage. As long as you're not blowing anything up, starting any fires. Again, the bar is in the floor. So not the asshole, but your mom sure is. As a former pregnant woman, if my mother-in-law would have thrown away food I was craving and ordered me a salad instead, I would have thrown her on a rotisserie and spun her around until she apologized. Just showed this comment to Melody and she couldn't stop laughing. Thank you for making her night. You and your dad are champs. When you get a chance, you and your dad should talk to your brother and set him straight. Dad knows the pregnancy stuff. OP knows, but sounds like the brother lacks knowledge. Just explain the best you can about what happened. Who knows? Maybe the mom told a different version of that story to her other son. Seeing as she was formerly pregnant herself, you'd think she understands cravings and cheat days while pregnant. Absolutely. I love that. This is exactly where my brain went when he said his mother-in-law threw the chicken away. Violence. Brother willing to learn that defending mom will not land him in any good relationships. Your mother is controlling, and that is a red flag. Mothers of boys can be so incesty and possessive of their sons, and she's one of them. I'm glad you're not letting her always defend your wife. Of course, he will find someone who will tolerate this. We repost on this Reddit almost nonstop. Yeah. Not the asshole. As far as I know, there's nothing dangerous about eating cooked, of course, chicken during pregnancy. She claims all the seasoning grease from the way the rotisserie is made isn't healthy. I don't know how true that is, but Melody is so healthy and was even before the baby. She works out constantly and eats really well, unless she wants a treat, which I think is healthy. I wouldn't want her overdoing healthy eating or exercise anyway, pregnant or not. Absolutely. Just look it up. If anything, you shouldn't eat it cold, but the grease and seasoning from it sounds like it isn't bad. Yeah. I knew nothing was wrong with the chicken. Yeah. Honestly, I'm 35 weeks. I don't care if someone was pulling something actually questionable out of my hands, like sushi or lunch meat. I would throw hands. My OB said it's all about limiting risk where possible. My grandma died when I was just 9 weeks, and I ate Subway sub with the rest of my family after the funeral and have zero guilt for it. Your mom was so out of line. I'm so happy your wife knows you'll stick up for her. Those hormones are something else, and everything hurts. Support means so much. I could never... Like, even if pregnancy was something that I wanted to do, I don't think I could do it. Like, it is such an obscene commitment, and not a fun one, It's not a fun one. Although, there are some women out there who like being pregnant, and I don't understand that shit at all. But pregnancy absolutely obliterates your body and your mind, and not to mention, postpartum depression is very real, and can be very damaging. Lots of pain, yes, lots of pain, lots of cravings, lots of confusion. Like, if you thought going through puberty was confusing and difficult because of all the bodily changes, you ain't seen nothing yet. You know what I mean? Like, First off, you sound like an awesome person. I'm sitting here shocked because your mom threw away someone else's food, which would have warranted being cursed out on its own, but she threw away a pregnant woman's food. You don't mess with a pregnant woman and her cravings, and your mom should know that. Huh? She threw away her food, berated her choices, and ordered her a goddamn salad. The woman is a freaking devil. I agree with you on counts. OP is so far from the asshole that I'm convinced he doesn't even have one. I really sat there like, I'm not even pregnant, and she'd get cussed out for several different reasons. The salad while everyone else had pizza, no one would have had pizza. I would have raised hell. I'm 35 weeks pregnant. I swear I saw red when I saw that she not only threw out her chicken and not only ordered her something else, which is less healthy for everyone, but ordered her a fucking salad, which has its own issues, as pre-made salads could come with the risk of listeria. Whereas a hot cooked chicken, very unlikely to pose any risk, and they're not even that dang unhealthy. It's a roast chicken, basically. Anyway, hormonal raise over. OP's mom is a devil, and no one will ever convince me otherwise. Also, now I want pizza and rotisserie chicken. She went to 3 stores for that chicken. I remember when my cousin was pregnant, Taco Bell stopped making these freeze. She loved, and she made me drive to 4 Taco Bells before she accepted the fact that it was gone and cried so hard. Then she hit me for laughing, that's when I knew pregnancy hormones made people crazy. They really do. Like, there are some people who just are completely normal when they're pregnant, but then there are other people who become completely different people because of the hormones from pregnancy. So when I was working in the hospital, all I kept hearing was how many times the midwives got pregnant. Not the asshole. Melody isn't a prized racehorse. She doesn't need to be groomed, dieted, or exercised by your mother. She is a guest in that house and should be behaving accordingly. Throwing food out is a major sign of disrespect to everyone providing for that table, whether it's paid labor or none. If your mother wants respect, she needs to learn to act respectful. Yeah, other woman, this goes way deeper than possessive. Yeah, that was super creepy. Choosing another woman over me? Yeah, Mom, that's the definition of having a wife. This is a fantastic post. I wish there was a way I could favorite this post. I'm gonna follow it, so that way I get any updates. Ooh, I can save it. Okay, this post is great. I'm gonna come back to it whenever I feel sad. Need a little pick-me-up, huh? You can? I can? What can? Oh, I can. Okay, I can save. Yeah, I found it. Am I the asshole for not realizing that little people meant children? My bus. Okay, we'll come back to the edits after. Okay. Not 24 hours after I posted this, I encountered someone calling children little people for the second time in my life. What the hell? I guess this is a thing now. Okay, this sounds stupid as hell, but it's driving me nuts. I recently got a job at the climbing gym. We have bouldering and ropes. I got a call from a lady asking if it was appropriate for a group of little people. Now I assumed she meant, you know, people with dwarfism, short-statured people, etc. It's not like we have a policy for that, but I know people with some forms of dwarfism might have issues with their bones or joints or whatever. So I tell her it should be okay but all climbing is at your own risk, so if they have any medical issues, they should ask their doctor. Well, the day of their booking comes around, and it turns out the little people are actually like a dozen small children. This was a fucking disaster because there's a strict 2 kids per 1 adult ratio for kids in the gym, and also kids aren't allowed to belay until they've been assessed. So we pretty much had to yeah, who says little people over the phone? That doesn't make any sense when they're talking about children. Yeah, I would also think he was talking about people with dwarfism. Have I ever been to prison? No, I have not. And I have no plans to go anytime soon. And welcome, by the way. This was a fucking disaster. We pretty much had to tell them they couldn't come inside. The lady goes off on me for ruining their weekend. And I had to get my manager to bail me out, after which he laughed his ass off, but also called me a dumbass for not understanding that she was talking about kids. Who the fuck refers to children as little people? I was really supposed to anticipate that this woman's use of an extremely specific term actually referred to another group of people entirely. Yeah, isn't little people a term that people with dwarfism actually use to describe themselves? Instead of, like, dwarfs or midget or anything? Like, aren't those other two more, like, offensive? Then isn't that what little people call themselves? Like, this is why people shouldn't use stupid cutesy euphemisms for kids. Hell, I've worked with kids over 30 years and never heard anyone refer to them as little people. Little ones maybe, but never little people. Yeah, little ones I've heard, but never little people for referring to children. We call them dwarfs in Britain. I don't think dwarfs is as much as of an offense as midgets. I think midgets is basically a slur essentially for little people, but you know, but I think they prefer people with dwarfism or having dwarfism over dwarfs, at least here anyways. You're absolutely right, by the way, that little people is one of the accurate preferred terms used by people who have various forms of dwarfism to self-describe. You are not at all the asshole, therefore making assumptions that you did. In the future, I might suggest that you clarify with the person calling, but it was a safe assumption that one was being cutesy and ridiculous. She should have said children or kids. She used a non-specific term when it was unnecessary and got upset when you misunderstood her. That was not on you. Yeah, it's possible that she was trying to, you know, skirt the system. I feel like midget is one of those terms that, like, if you've got a friend who is a little person and they're fine with you calling them that, then it's okay. If it's like someone you've known a long time or whatever, and you can call them that and it's like cool, but it's not really a word you're supposed to use as a whole, like to describe little people as a whole, you know what I mean? But I don't know any little people. There aren't any dwarfism people in my life, so I can't speak from that. I can't speak from experience there. Just from what I've heard from people online who have family or friends who have dwarfism and how they speak about them. Little people is describing adults of smaller stature. Children is used to describe humans of a size under the age of 18. Yeah. Can I serve little people alcohol? Yes. Can I serve children alcohol? No. Yes. Midget is no longer acceptable. Little person or dwarf is. Yeah, and not all little people have dwarfism, but it is generally a term used to describe people who are smaller than average, but not children. I mean, I appreciate the engagement, but there's a lot of random shit going on right now. It's just such a weird... Who calls children little people? That doesn't make any sense. Oh no, another pregnant wife situation, but this time with an asshole husband. Oh no. Oh no. We knew it wouldn't last. This is the Am I the Asshole subreddit after all, so. Am I the asshole for telling my wife it's ridiculous to cry over soup? Huh? My wife is 4 months pregnant with our 5th child. Yes, you're the asshole. We have a 7-year-old girl, 6-year-old girl, 4-year-old boy, 2-year-old boy now. Since childcare is so expensive, she's been staying home. Money is tight right now. Then stop fucking having kids. If money is tight, stop having fucking children. Children are technically small people, but little people is a term used specifically to describe those with dwarfism or those with other sort of like physical ailments or disabilities that make them smaller than the average person of their age. Yeah. I don't understand people who have 800 kids and they're like, money is tight, but my wife is pregnant. Why? Why? If money is tight, stop having children. That will fix the problem. Money is tight right now. Her car's broke down, so we've been relying on mine. She texted me and told me she was craving a particular can of soup, so I bought it and brought it home. She placed it on the counter and said she would make it after she gave kids a bath. While she was upstairs, my dad came over and mentioned he was hungry, so I told him to help himself to anything in the kitchen, and he made the fucking soup. I told her I haven't seen it, and then my dad came over, but he usually doesn't eat canned foods. I called him, he admitted that in fact he did take it, and I'm sorry because he was unaware she was saving it. When I told her this, she started sobbing and said she could never have one thing in this house and how bad she was craving it and wanted it so bad. Later I told her that she was being ridiculous and that she was adult and crying over something as stupid as a can of soup. She's pregnant! She's pregnant! You made her pregnant! She's been pregnant 4 times. You should know what pregnancy cravings are. Like... Sir, you have 4 kids, meaning you've been through 4 pregnancies with this woman. You should know how pregnancy cravings work. Huh? Well, if for cultural reasons they can't use contraception, then they just shouldn't fucking have sex. Huh? Put the dick away. Keep it in your fucking pants. Huh? Am I the asshole? Yes, you are in fact the asshole. I'm not even gonna read the rest of the fucking post. Racism? Racism? How is that racist? How is it racist to tell someone that if they can't use contraception and don't want kids, don't have sex? It's not racism, it's common sense. Your culture doesn't require you to fuck your wife. Okay, that's not how anything works. Edit, when I leave work, I'm going to buy her all the vegetable soup they have in stock. Also, when I say money is tight, I don't mean that we're struggling to survive. We took out a loan to build 3 extra bedrooms in our house. Her car broke down. I do leave her the car if she needs to take our daughter or son to therapy appointments, but if she wants to go somewhere, I apologize and do the bedtime routine tonight. Pick out the scariest shark movie I can find. She loves Jaws movies. Also, yes, we have 5 kids, but we wanted a big family. I wanted 3, she wanted 4. I was an only child, and she came from a big family. We had 4. She had a marina. What does that mean? What does that mean? I don't know what this means. Oh, it's like a birth control. Okay, it's a birth control that didn't work. I've never heard of that one before. And it went through her uterus. We found out about this baby at the same time. We both agreed that we wanted the child. She told the doctor the same day after the delivery she wants her tubes tied. Okay. So it wasn't like, oh, we're working paycheck to paycheck. It's just they had to take out loans. Okay, I would have preferred some specification because generally when people say money is tight, but we're having another kid, it's always like, just don't fuck. They said they wanted the kid. They both decided together they wanted the child. So I love that she's getting her tubes tied afterward. I hope that goes well for her because that can often be very difficult for a woman to get that done. We aren't struggling to survive. We have food, shelter, clothes. We go out to dinner. The only issue is childcare. She preferred to stay home, and she asked me if it would be okay until our youngest goes to preschool. That's iconic. I love that for you. We have lots of kids, but we do take care of them. I work long hours at 2 jobs. I'm pretty exhausted when I come home. Plus, I'm building a room for our children. I do help with my children. I love my family. Okay, so it sounds like you're not an asshole. You were just the asshole in this situation. It's not about the soup, dude. Get a vasectomy on your way home. Honestly, it would probably be easier for him to get a vasectomy than for her to get her tubes tied. Men can sign up for a vasectomy and get one in the same week, whereas for women they have to go through 800 different hoops to get their tubes tied most of the time. Even if they have multiple kids, it can be really difficult sometimes. Um, so, um, yeah, my wife is 4 months pregnant with our fifth child. You'd think by now you'd know how hormones work and how emotional a pregnant women can get. Uh, Based on the edit, it doesn't sound like he is an asshole. He was just being an asshole at the moment. So we will allow it. But yes, you are the asshole in the situation that you described. So, but he's going to apologize and make up for it. And that's really the best you can do when you fuck up. So, maybe the wife didn't consent. Well, in this case, she clearly didn't consent to the pregnancy because she had birth control in, and the birth control failed. But when she found out she was pregnant, they talked about it and decided they wanted the kid, so they kept the kid. So she did have a birth control and it didn't work. So and abort themselves. I mean, delivery gone wrong. Interesting. That's not a very descriptive title. Didn't get very entertaining with that description. Okay. Am I the asshole? Delivery gone wrong. Last week, delivery men were at my house to deliver a long-awaited sofa purchase. 2 men came into my house, seemed friendly enough. I showed them what they needed to do, remove a sectional, and then unpack a sofa and an oversized chair into my living room. While they were at the truck and coming back to my house, a man hollered, "Ma'am, did you want your cat to come in?" I yelled, "I don't have a cat. I'm also allergic to them," and was leaving town in a few hours. They then indicated that the cat had gone upstairs and that it was a tabby cat and that it just ran in. I heard it meow several times. During the 30 minutes that the men were in my house, I heard it the meowing, but I couldn't find it anywhere. I was running all over the house, sweating and frantic. At one point, the workmen helped me look for the cat, but it was nowhere to be found. As the men were leaving, I was signing paperwork. 2 men finally fessed up that they were the ones making cat noises, and there was no cat at all. I became distressed, but they laughed after telling me that they played this joke on other women as well, that they thought they were really funny, a modern-day Laurel and Hardy. When my husband heard the story, he insisted on calling the store and talking to the owner. Am I the asshole? No. That's rude. Especially since you're allergic to cats. That's fucking rude. And really weird. That's really weird. That is incredibly, yeah, totally unprofessional and immature. Like, that's so weird. It's very weird, indeed, to go into someone's home, even for work, and pull a prank on them in their own home when you don't know them. That's really weird. Yeah, you paid them for service, not a day of stress. Yeah, that's really fucked up and really creepy. Ooh, spicy. Okay. Am I the asshole for telling my brother's fiance that the reason she couldn't get a degree was because of her choice to be a mom? My, me, female 24, and my brother Adam, 30 male, met a single mom, 32 female, from Latin origins. What does that matter? Michelle, a year ago. They recently got engaged. Okay, my brother, male 30. I don't care how old you are. Because my F24 brother had me really confused. I, 24 female, and my brother Adam, 30 male, met a single mom, female 32, a year ago. They recently got engaged. We only met her a few times, but he brought her and her son over for dinner on a Sunday. I don't know what. I just think that's just to be honest. To be honest, the family and I didn't know much about her, so after dinner we started talking to her about her personal life. She told she only had a high school education. She said she always wanted to go to college and obtain the degree, but said it was so hard to do. I found that a bit cliche, especially after she started complaining about lack of opportunities and resources. I told her I disagree because colleges give all kinds of opportunities and scholarships, and that the real reason she couldn't go to college was because of the fact that she was a mom and had to raise a kid. She stared at me silently, looking offended, and then asked if I was implying that her decision to be a mom ruined her opportunities. I told her only she could answer this question once she takes a look at her life and see if she's really happy where she is versus where she could have been without the whole struggling mom thing. This is rude. I told her only she could answer the question. Okay, she got upset and told me that she's happy with her life and her job at the salon, and said that she did not appreciate how judgmental and condescending I was towards her and her child. Adam heard the conversation and asked what was going on. She told him, and he decided it was time to leave. She couldn't even wait or say goodbye. She took her son and went out to wait in the car. Adam chewed me out, saying it was none of my business how she's living her life. But I explained that I was stating an opinion, nothing more, nothing less. Mom sided with them, saying I was out of line and rude and ridiculous, but my younger sister said Michelle was being too sensitive. No, you're being an ass. That's none of your fucking business. You're being an ass. You're just being rude, just to be rude. From Latin origins. This is relevant. How, aside from you making her sound like you already know, look down her from where she comes from. That's exactly what my thought was. Asked as if I was implying, yes, and somehow you did answer her question. She asked, it's quite clear you look down on her for being a single mom. You think having a child destroys someone's life and opportunities. At the same time, I mean, it can. Having a child when you're too young, like in high school or something, can destroy your life. It can throw it off and send it in a direction that you didn't want it to go in. But it doesn't necessarily mean your life is ruined. Hey, Max? I think a package is here. I don't have a photo of it outside our door, but it says it's been delivered, so. And it says it was handed directly to a resident, which it was not. I don't know why it says that. Was it handed directly to a resident? Well, it said it was. Full of shit. You insulted her child, and basically her way of life. Did you really expect her to say goodbye and be all hugs? Honestly, they were just weird. To be honest, I don't care if transphobes come into my comments. You've seen what happens when it happens. What I do when it happens. It's very entertaining to me. So, did they ask me about my hair? Do you like your hair? Yes, I like my hair. I read the comment and then I forgot it existed because I was in the middle of reading the post. I was just being honest. Yeah, you're the asshole. Ooh, a character limit. Must be a long one. Oh, no, it's not. Okay. Am I the asshole for keeping my former mother-in-law in my son's life? Okay. My 32... Why do they keep doing this again? My 37 female husband, Oliver, died in a car crash 8 years ago. I hate the way that they type that out. 37 female, name. And my husband, Oliver, you could just say my husband, Oliver. My package today was left upright on the bench outside my porch. Apparently, it was handed to a resident. Never had that before. Yeah, they love to mark shit as handed directly to the resident when there's an option to select left outside the residency. Like, that is an option that they have to select as a delivery. We need to put a post-it on the door that says, please knock when dropping off a package, because sometimes we don't get a notification about it for, like, hours after it's been delivered. Okay, my husband Oliver died in a car crash 8 years ago at the age of 31. The only reason I could keep on my feet back then was because of my parents and Oliver's mother's support. Just to say a few things she's done for us, she helped us financially while I looked for a better paying job after Oliver died. She takes care of my son, Tin, whenever he's sick and I have to go to work. She cooks extra portions of food for us when she prepares meals she knows I like or my son likes. She never asks or expects anything in return. She's a genuinely good person, and I'm happy she's in our lives. She's a widow too, and Oliver was an only child, so we are her only family, and we see her on a regular basis, and we really enjoy each other's company. She sounds like a lovely person. The thing is, I met a guy, 40, at work 4 years ago. We started dating about a year after we met each other, and we got engaged 2 months ago. After our engagement, he suggested that my son and his mother should meet. I thought it was a good idea since they would spend time together after we got married. Carla and my son have met 3 times in the past 2 months, all of them at Pete's house for dinner. Pete and I were there too. Last time was last night, and it all went down. Since the moment they first met, Carla has been really pushy, trying to force a bond between them, giving them presents, asking them to kiss her, hello, and goodbye, even if my son looked very uncomfortable. That's not acceptable behavior. So yesterday I politely asked her to stop doing that. She told me that I was being very rude to her and that maybe I should help by teaching my son to treat her as a grandmother. I told her that I don't have to teach my son to do anything and that he would come to see her as a grandmother when and if he wanted. She coughed and said that that would never happen if we kept seeing my dead husband's mother, and suggested that we should stop seeing her since having 3 grandmas would only confuse my kid. How? How? Are you dumb? The child's 10. I was shocked, and I said I would never kick Oliver's mom out of our lives. First of all, because she's my son's real grandmother, and he adores her, and that should be reason enough. Second of all, because she's a good person, and I want her in our lives. I took my child and left Pete's house. Pete called me later that night and told me I'd been really rude to Carla and I should apologize. that she only wants to have a grandma-like relationship with my son. I told him I would like that too, but I'm not shutting Oliver's mom out. Then he said that I'm being very unreasonable and that my relationship with my former mother-in-law is unhealthy. Don't marry this man. Kick him out. TLDR, wedding canceled. Yes, absolutely. 100%. Good for you. Yeah, you can't force a child to bond with someone. That's not how anything works. Okay, thanks for all the replies. I'm really thankful for all the support. I'm meeting Pete tonight. We'll discuss everything. The more I think about this, the clearer I see I'm not in the wrong. I left a comment because the character limit. I can't find... Where's the comment, though? Yeah. Not the asshole, not the asshole. Pete had always been really good and understanding about other stuff, so I'm really disappointed in him right now because I didn't see any of this coming. I'll meet him tonight, we'll talk and see what happens. Yeah. The fact that he waited till you were engaged is kind of sus. Okay, here's the comment. I'll update what happened in the comments because there's a character limit and I'm not sure whether my post will be deleted if I make it 300 plus characters long. First of all, a few things I wanted to clarify since I got asked some questions via DM and in some comments. One, I second guessed myself because Pete has always been very understanding. Any conflict or disagreement we could solve by talking it out. He was good in getting my point of view. That's why I thought that maybe I was actually overreacting here because it's so unlike him to make me feel like I've done something unexcusably wrong. That and the fact that Carla was actually crying when I left Pete's house last night. Two, the kisses thing. I agree forcing kids to display affection on people that they don't actually like is wrong. However, Carla asking him to kiss him is not as creepy as some people think it is. I'm from Southern Europe, and greeting people with 2 kisses, one on each cheek is the norm here. Even when you've just met. I hated having to kiss grown-ups I barely knew when I was a kid. I don't know. I don't like it even now. I thought we'd gotten rid of them during the pandemic. So I never forced my son to do it, but it can be viewed as extremely rude if you say an adult that you won't tell your kids to kiss them if the kid doesn't want to. So the first time I didn't stop Carla from greeting my son with 2 kisses because I didn't want to make a bad impression. I know, my bad. But I thought she wouldn't stop asking my son to greet her that way because she saw he didn't like it. I was wrong, and that's why I told her to stop last night. Also because she insisted that my son said thank you to her with a kiss for a gift she had just given him. She was extra offended because of that. All the English names are fake. Obviously, I'm clarifying since I came out of Southern Europe. Sorry, I thought I saw something move. Nothing moved. 4, I'm off to Pete's house in 15 minutes. I'll write a last update tomorrow, but I'm determined to end the relationship if he hasn't changed his mind. Let's hope he has. Oh, I skipped 3. Pete has a sister. Are you done?
Yes, I'm done, but I also wanted to show you something.
Those look massive.
They are massive. Do you want to see how goofy they look?
Are you going to put them on over your regular glasses?
That's what they're supposed to be for.
You look geriatric.
I do. I really do. They're like so much larger than I thought they would be. Like the whole point is that they go over your glasses.
I mean, I see that. I assume that's what this bridge is for.
Correct. So they sit on top of your glasses.
But they're so much bigger than your glasses.
I might try to get some of the clip-on ones and see if that works.
Oh, I can't see anything anymore.
Okay. My head is too small.
I can't see anything. On my monitors are completely dark now.
Which is the whole point. Clearly, they're good as sunglasses.
Well, I think it's the same thing it does to my phone. It just makes my phone look weird. It's doing the same thing to my screens.
You look fine. I look terrible.
I can't see what I look like, so I'll take your word for it.
Like, they don't look as big on you as they do on me because the problem is I
small.
have a shaved head. So they just look massive. They look so big. They look dumb as hell. So annoyed. Do you think different frames would help, or is it just all bad? Because I got the ones with, like, the clear frames.
It's all bad. Yeah. I think you should just, if you want glasses that do sunglassing, you should just make the investment and buy sunglasses that transform into glasses.
I am thinking about getting, like, 2 pairs.
Because you can afford that at this point in your life. They're very expensive glasses. I would not recommend taking them to the park with us or anything like that. But
no, I have my eye appointment is until the week after anyways.
Yeah, but I just mean, like, because transitions are so expensive. Even with, like, good insurance and stuff, they're hella expensive. But for just, like, casual going outside and stuff, I would absolutely recommend it. Because that is going to get you bullied by random strangers, as it should.
It's too much.
It should get you bullied by random strangers.
I might try to order some of the ones that, like, clip on to your regular
Should we show them what
frames.
you look like?
Yeah, if they want to see.
You can pop into the small frame.
Okay. so tiny. Okay, is this a decent view?
Mm-hmm.
This is what I look like. It's terrible.
But they can't see your glasses through these, which is what makes it even funnier.
You can straight up see the glasses through these frames. It's
Yeah.
terrible. It's so bad.
It's very bad. It's very, very bad.
See, I would look cooler if I looked like the cool emoji, but they're so big for my head.
Yeah, it really makes you look like an egg.
I look like an egg. It's not a good look.
Any
It's
shape your
bad.
face that was given by the glasses is gone.
It's bad.
Because your glasses give your face a bit more of a shape, but that just completely takes it away.
Yep. It's not good. These were also $25.
Jesus Christ. You're gonna pay $25 to get bullied by strangers.
Well, I wanted to pay $25 to have sunglasses, but whatever.
You need curved glasses for the curved head.
What fucking ever. Yeah. They had a couple other
Or just
cuts,
glasses
but
that
I
fit
think,
the face.
I think they're all just gonna look goofy.
Max has small head.
Yeah, that's the problem. I do think I'm going to look at some of the clip-ons, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to find anything that's, like, the exact dimensions.
Yeah.
So it's just going to look goofy, so...
I do think looking into transition lenses could be good for you.
Absolutely. I'll probably get 2 pairs of glasses, one transitions, one regular.
Mm-hmm.
So that way I have something for, like, when I'm not...
When you're driving or when you're...
Yeah.
Just... We're going out somewhere and it's bright as fuck.
Yeah. I might literally just have the transitions as sunglasses, which feels like a waste of money, but it's totally not a waste of money. I do a lot of driving.
It's not.
So.
And you can't fucking see without your glasses. So.
I really can't.
You're very Velma in that aspect. So.
Yeah, right now I'm doing the whole ghetto, literally just putting regular glasses, giving them a shared space on my nose bridge with, like the sunglasses and the regular glasses are just sharing space on my nose bridge, and there's not a lot of space up there, so it looks really goofy.
Mm-hmm.
So...
My face is slightly slanted. It makes it nearly impossible to find decent glasses.
Yeah, it's
Mine is as well. My ears are not the same level, so my sunglasses are always like this. But fortunately, I'm not to the point of my life where I actually need glasses to see yet. I know I'll get there eventually, but I'm not there yet, so.
I'm really sad about these. I just wanted them to work so bad.
I mean, if by work you mean make you look like you have a very, very, very small head, then they do work.
They make me look like I have cancer.
We can't match on everything. I think we can. I think we do.
really think you can.
I think we do.
It's really disturbing.
The only thing we don't match on is our level of intellect when it comes to technology. You beat me on that. So.
And your assigned sex at birth. That's literally it.
That's literally it. That's it. That's the only thing. We had 2 randos come into my chat today. Mm-hmm. It was weird. They weren't like transphobic or rude, but they were very weird. I mean, they might have been a little rude, but not necessarily towards me.
Yeah.
They came in on a post that I was reading where someone got confused because someone used the term little people to describe children over the phone, and they rightfully assumed that they meant because they work at a climbing gym, and someone called saying, "Is it safe and appropriate for little people?" And he was like, "Probably." I mean, assuming they're healthy or whatnot, yeah, it should be fine. Because he thought they meant, people with dwarfism, because that's what that fucking word means. And in fact, this woman showed up with like 20 fucking kids, and it's a 2-to-1 parent-kid ratio that is allowed, and so that he had to turn them away. And it came in on that, and it started a whole weird conversation. It was very interesting, wasn't it, Jimmy?
Love it, love it.
See, people get hate rated sometimes, and it's all I want. Engagement, Max. Because, like, I don't care if people come in here and call me a tranny. I don't care. I am a tranny. I call myself a tranny. And someone coming in here and calling me a girl is not offensive. Look at me. I wonder if they just wanted to get banned. Maybe. And I think that's why they left, was because they didn't get banned. So, we just kind of ignored their weirdness.
Love it.
What?
I just saw the related ones where they had, like, in different languages and stuff.
Ah. Is that last one German?
Yes.
It looks... Sounding it out in my head made me sound angry, so I assumed it was German.
Mm-hmm. Yes, that is German.
Okay. So you're done?
Guess I'll put these back in the box.
Mm-hmm.
And put them with all of the rest of the packages that need to go back. There's so many, Nico.
There are quite a few.
There's so many. I've ordered so many things, and then I have liked none of them.
You need to start mass ordering them, so when you return them, it's just one big box.
Even then, usually it's not one box.
Yeah.
They come in one box, but then it's like, put these all in different packages.
What are your favorite YouTube subreddit videos? We've not been watching as many lately, but I really like One Topic at a time. We love his videos. And then there's two channels that are run by the same person called Lagu and Twigu, and we really like her. But like I said, we haven't watched really much of either of them in a while. We watch OT in the mornings and the weekends sometimes. But
Who was it we used to watch?
Fresh.
Fresh, thank you. Yes, we used to watch Fresh. I was like, Aesthetic Boys, where?
Clothes shopping should be done in person. Generally speaking, I agree, but in this economy,
Besides the fact that, like, I need, like, extra smalls and size 2s and stuff like that they just don't sell in stores. Like, here, you can find maybe small, medium, large, extra large, maybe. And small starts at, like, 2 sizes up from where I am. So, online. So, unfortunately, I cannot shop in person. Ever. Pretty much. Plus, like, I'm so short that it's nice to be able to have, like, short lengths of stuff, and you can only find that online as well, unless I buy, like, ankle length pants. That's usually what I go for.
Yeah.
So.
Sad the kids' glasses are too small. Yeah.
I've had kids' glasses before.
But not as an adult. Or not recently.
As an adult.
Not in recent years.
In recent years. My first pair of glasses was kids' glasses.
At age, like, 16?
At 18.
Oh, at 18?
Yeah.
I thought you had glasses since 16.
No, I had glasses since 18. I got them right after I graduated high school.
Yeah. Oh, Mark got eye surgery to fix his vision.
Oh, neat. I thought he had already had that.
I watched his Power Wash Power Hour podcast thing with Eve that he just posted, and Eve mentioned his new eyes. Apparently it wasn't LASIK, it was apparently something else.
Okay.
But similar idea, in that he doesn't need glasses anymore.
That's cool.
So he was like, I forgot what it felt like to see. I had to remind myself that I can just look at things now. So it was cute. They talked about Unis Honest a lot, and Eve's show that he did. It was mostly just them complimenting each other for 47 minutes, and also talking about Unis Honest. So it was nice because we're almost at the 2-year mark since the passing of Unis Honest. So it was really cathartic to listen to them talk about it. And Eve mentioned how, like, for them at the very end during the final live stream, it was like 3, 2, 1 over, and then they got to, like, celebrate and, like, you know, hang out and talk and be like, oh, we're finally done, thank God, like, we can rest now. And Eve was like, but for everyone else, it was just
death,
darkness after. And Margaret's like, I never fucking thought about that. Oh my
darkness
God.
And sadness
and all the comments
and
were like, trauma.
No, that was very traumatic.
all the comments over were like, yeah, we were fucking sad.
Like, it genuinely felt like losing a loved one.
Yeah, because I mean, if you think about it, lives were probably saved by them, because most of it took place during 2020 when everyone was locked in their homes by themselves, a lot of people, and knowing that there was going to be a video to watch the next day were probably was probably a reason for a lot of people to keep living, was that, well, Unis Honest is going to post another video tomorrow and I want to see that, so I guess I can't kill myself today. Like, you know, like, and I'm certain that's happened for a number of the people that watched them. Also, they had 1.8 million concurrent viewers at the very end of the live stream when they deleted the channel.
I mean, a lot of them were people opening it on different apps, but yes.
I mean, not really. I mean, the channel
it.
had almost 2 million subscribers
Yeah.
at the end of it, and basically everyone was there, along with people who were new and didn't know what was going on.
I mean, we both had it open on each of our laptops and on our phones, just to boost it, because they said they wouldn't show us the inside of the coffin unless there were 1 million concurrent viewers. So
Yes.
everybody opened it on new devices.
I think I have astigmatism, but when I have an eye test, they say I can wear glasses, but it likely wouldn't help much depending on how I look with eye exams. Different lines can show up. See, that's something we don't have in common. I have good eyesight. You don't. So.
I have noticed that my eyesight is becoming worse, so I will definitely need new glasses.
Yeah.
Because I just can't, like, see...
End of sentence.
Like, I can see, but, like, just distance is getting harder and harder, and up close is also getting slightly harder.
I wonder if Eli's blind yet.
I don't know. Maybe he is.
Because last time we talked to him, which was, like, a year and a half ago.
He was legally blind, but not blind.
Yeah, because, like, past, like, 15 to 20 feet, it was just darkness.
That sounds freaky as hell. I'd rather not have any vision than that.
Yeah, that's a lot. It's a lot. I don't look forward to the days where my eyes start to give out on me, but I don't expect that to happen until I get old, because both my parents had good vision until they got old, and just started having normal eye degradation and needed reading glasses and stuff. I don't expect to get bad eyes early in my life, although my sister has bad eyes already. She already wears glasses for some things. But I don't have bad eyesight genes in the family, just general aging eye genes, so thank goodness. Meanwhile, your family is littered with bad eyeballs, so...
Well, my mom only wears reading glasses because she's old. She doesn't wear any other glasses.
Your dad doesn't wear any glasses at all?
My dad wears glasses.
Okay, and then Taryn wears glasses.
Taryn wears glasses. Morgan wears glasses. Xana doesn't, but probably should. And there's me that also wear glasses.
Like I said, littered.
Yeah.
You get some glasses, and you get some glasses.
My sister's prescriptions are holding strong, and I'm the one with the degrading eyes that gets new glasses.
But you also spend all day reading.
I do spend all day reading.
They don't. You use your eyes way more than they do.
Still, though, my eyes should not be...
No, not at your age, no.
Like, degrading this fast.
I think it's down to my facial structure. I think my eye is just slightly squished. If I press on my eye, then I can see further in that eye. Interesting. You might need some sort of, like, surgery or something, then.
Yeah.
I mainly use my right eye. The left is mainly used as peripheral vision. I would feel so lopsided.
Jimmy has a squishy
I had a really weird dream last night.
Yes.
Well, I had multiple. I don't know if you heard me get up at like 10 something to pee. You probably did.
Get up at 10?
Yeah, I was up at like 10 something.
Yeah.
I woke up from like a nightmare. I don't remember what the nightmare was, but it did bring forth visions of my bed being surrounded by evil men with knives ready to murder me. But I don't remember what the dream itself was about. But I woke up from that nightmare and I really needed to pee, so I got up and peed. And then I thought you were gone, but I was hearing things outside the door because I was like, it's Tuesday, Max isn't supposed to be here anymore. Because you usually leave around... I wasn't
supposed to be here anymore.
Yeah, you usually leave around 10, so I was really paranoid because I just woken up from a nightmare. And so I opened the bedroom door and I saw your bag sitting on the ground. I was like, okay, Max is still here. And so I initially locked the bathroom door, and then I walked around to the bedroom door and opened it, and I saw that your bag was there, and then I closed it, went back around and unlocked the bathroom door, and then I went back to bed. But then after that, I had a dream with Jillian in it, and Jillian was in a wheelchair for some reason. But she could kind of walk, but, like, not really. It was really bizarre and makes absolutely no sense. And I wish I could remember more details, because it was way more detailed than that. Like, we were, like, doing stuff, and, like, there were things going on, but I don't remember what any of those things were anymore, because it's been a couple hours, but it was a very bizarre... I don't know what created that, because usually, like, with weird dreams, I can usually trace it back to, like, oh, I watched this video earlier in the day, or something like that, but I have no idea where Jillian in a wheelchair came from. I have no fucking idea. I don't know. It doesn't bother me. When I was young, they said my brain is just adapted to it. Brains are good at that. Brains are very good at adapting. Although sometimes our adaptability, the adaptability of our brains can sometimes be a hindrance, because sometimes, like, if a neuron dies in your brain, for example, the brain very quickly rewires itself, and it won't wire itself back into the dead nerve because it can't. But then there are also situations where, like, our brains will adapt to our procrastination, and then we are even worse at procrastinating, because our brain is made for shortcuts, is what it does. And so sometimes that can actually be a bad thing. But in your situation, it seems to have been helpful. But there are many situations where our brains will make new connections that it shouldn't have made, and then that causes issues down the road. So I think we're going to start the Quarry next week, since I'm only streaming tomorrow, and then I won't be streaming again until Monday. So I think tomorrow... we'll figure out what I'm doing tomorrow. I think we'll save the Quarry for next week. So I think I decided that this morning, that I'd rather... because I'm going to play it, and then I'm going to want to play it again, and then not be able to play it for several days, and then I'm worried that in that time period, my brain is going to want to move on to something else, so I'll just wait until next week to start. It's the new, like, Until Dawn type game, where, like, you choose your choices throughout the night and try not to get everyone killed, or try to get everyone killed. It says, when the sun goes down on the last night of summer camp, 9 teenage counselors are plunged into an unpredictable night of horror. The only thing worse than the blood-drenched locals and creatures hunting them are the unimaginable choices you must make to help them survive. Da-da-dun. My second PS5 game. I don't think any of the ones I've bought online were PS5 versions, so. It does actually have one guy in it that I know. That guy. He was in a thing. The only, is he the only black guy? Yeah, the only black guy in the game. So he's probably going to die first, but hold on. The Corey cast. You'll probably know his face. Fucking Bing. Useless ass fucking.
Why do you even use it?
I don't know. I need to change it now that I don't use it for points anymore. Some of the ones you picked up are older. Yeah. Oh yeah, I know him. I know him. He played young Sean in Psych. Yeah. He also did some voices in Phineas and Ferb, apparently. Oh yeah, he was also in Once Upon a Time. I know him from Psych, though. But that's not the one I was talking about. Where is he? Oh, Brita Song, obviously. It just says voice. It's this guy. Yeah, him. I know him from Paper Towns, Jurassic World. He was in something bigger than that, though. Really? Interesting. I thought maybe I know him from Jurassic World. Although I've only seen that movie once. This guy. Oh, Max is gone. What the fuck? You just left! I thought you were still standing behind me. What the fuck? That shit, what the fuck? I feel like I know him from something else. Other than this. Weird. Oh, I know him from Detective Pikachu. That's what I know him from. He's the main character in Detective Pikachu. That's what I know him from. I was like, I know him from something else, that like something big, and I just completely missed it. Okay. So I know 2 of the actors, actually, so that's nice. 3, if we count Brenda. Forgot Brenda's songs in this. David Arquette. I know that name. Why do I know that name? Don't know. Being excited about what? What are we excited about? So I don't know as many of the cast members in this as I did in the first game, but it also seems there are more people in the cast than there were in Until Dawn, so. I don't know if it was made by the same people who made Until Dawn, or if it's just a similar game structure. I think it's just a similar game structure, and that's why people have been comparing it. Okay. We never read the update on this one. That is a good reason to be excited. Rotisserie chicken is fantastic sometimes. Oh, I want chicken now. I've been getting cravings for chicken sandwiches lately. Like a nice crispy chicken sandwich, you know? I love me some good crispy chicken. I really do. Hey, Max. What are you doing? Oh, okay. You fucking scared the shit out of me because I turned around expecting you to still be there and you were gone. You'd vanished without a trace.
I thought you saw me leave.
No, I was looking at my screen, and then I turned around to say something to you, and you were gone, and the door was closed. And I was like, what the fuck?
I also just assumed that you know I'm gone because the sound of the fan changes.
I wasn't paying attention to the sound of the fan. I was paying attention to what I was looking up. I know him from Detective Pikachu. He's the main character in that. The black guy from the game, whose name I don't know. You're not pregnant. No, I'm not pregnant. I just get cravings sometimes. I think it's an ADHD thing, to be honest with you. I want chicken tonight.
You want chicken?
Yes.
Okay, you can buy us chicken.
Yeah, I guess.
Okay.
I really need to stop paying for things because I don't have much money left, and we're going to Thailand this weekend. But, see, since Rookie hasn't been watching the stream, Rookie doesn't know what we're talking about.
See, have you called your brother?
Why would I call my mother?
Your brother.
Oh, my brother? No, I have not.
Okay. Because we need to know what day to buy the tickets on, so.
Yeah. If you were watching, you would know. Yes. Rookie has popped in and said that he should be watching, but he's busy being too excited. And I asked what he was excited about, and Jimmy said he was excited that Rookie has a rotisserie chicken, and that's why he's excited. And Rookie doesn't understand what we're talking about because he's not been here. And even Max knows, and Max hasn't also been here, but we've explained it to Max.
Yes. Someone was an asshole because of a rotisserie chicken.
Yes. And believe it or not, it was a mother-in-law. Shocking. Mother-in-laws are never problematic.
Never ever.
Can you imagine if we got married? My mother would be your mother-in-law.
And my mother would be your mother-in-law.
That's a good deal for me.
That's very much a good deal for you.
That's a very good deal for me.
I don't think I've ever dated someone with good parents.
My parents are good. They're just not nice.
Like, I don't think I've ever dated someone where I'd be like, oh my god, this is like a dream mother-in-law situation.
Yeah. I don't know if your mom I would classify as a dream mother-in-law, but she definitely would be a good mother-in-law.
Yeah, she's a great person. She's very welcoming. Like,
Yeah.
She's really cool. She just is also super religious.
Yes.
So problematic.
I really hope that my future wife has a great mother-in-law or a dead one, because I really can't put up with a annoying ass family, because that's always going to be like a push-pull thing, unless it's like they disown her because she's dating a tranny, you know, in which case if she disowns them back, that's absolutely fine, you know. Like, I don't know if I can deal with her trying to keep them in her life even though they disagree with my existence, you know. That wouldn't be we'd have to break up. That wouldn't be a thing I could deal with. Not necessarily that I could deal with it, I just wouldn't want to deal with it, because I cut out my own family because of that bullshit. I'm not afraid to cut out somebody else's, so
right.
You know, I was gonna go as soon as you three got me confused. Well, the stream's almost over anyways. I just need to finally read this update. So in this post, what the fuck happened in this post? It was so long ago that I read it. There's a woman. She has a 10-year-old son from a prior marriage where the husband has died. She's a widow. And the mother-in-law is super great and amazing. Her dead husband's mom is fantastic and amazing, and she also is a widow, and so really the only family she has left is this woman and the child. And so she's been super helpful, super lovely. The son loves her, you know, all the stuff. And the mom has met a new guy, and they're dating and engaged. And his mom is being a cunt, and says that trying to have multiple grandmothers is going to be confusing. Rookie said, good night, Max. No, good night to Nico and Jimmy. Well, I'm not going to bed anytime soon, so no offense taken.
Thank you for the good night. I appreciate it. Good night to you, too. I always feel special when
people talk to you.
Yeah, when people say good night and hello to me.
And said that that the son would never see the new guy's mom as a grandmother because she kept seeing her dead husband's mother. Was very rude about it, and her new fiance Pete sided with his mother, and so it seems she has broken up with Pete. Do you want to hear the tea?
I was almost done reading the post.
Oh.
And then you scrolled. I just had the last little bit. Okay.
I'm out of water.
Okay, I'm done.
Okay. Do you want Sonic chicken or like Hattie B's chicken?
What's in your budget?
I mean, technically both.
Technically both?
Yeah. Yeah.
Then we should get Hattie B's.
Okay. Hattie B's has chicken sandwiches, so that's fine.
They do.
I just hydrated Jimmy. I'm not doing it again. So we had some updates that she posted here in the comments, saying that she was going to talk to Pete. Update, I broke up with Pete last night. I'm still a bit shocked about everything that's happened in the past 48 hours. I don't exactly remember how the conversation went, but he said some really hurtful things to me that I would never have expected him to say. It's like the man I've known for years and the man I've had to deal with for the past 2 days are two completely different people, and I am heartbroken. I feel a bit stupid right now, and I'm not sure if all the signs were there and I just couldn't see them, or if he just didn't care about our past issues as much as he did for this one, or if his expectations about me changed the moment we got engaged, like someone suggested as a reply to this comment. We started talking, and I can already see that he hasn't changed his mind at all. One of the first things he does is insisting on me apologizing to his mom, and it only got worse after that. I say I'm not apologizing. I'm not either apologizing for what I said, and absolutely I wasn't cutting ties with my mother-in-law, the actual grandmother to her child.
Yeah.
Some of you had an issue about me calling her my former mother-in-law. I just meant that after Oliver died, there's just no law that keeps us together. But of course, she is a fundamental person in my life, and she will always be my family, and most importantly, my kids' grandma. Basically, the mother-in-law, as you read, became essentially a second parent after the husband died, which was super lovely and super nice to help take care of the kid. You're reading ahead.
Sorry.
He then again said, I have such an unhealthy relationship with that woman because it is based on mourning. I defended myself, saying we were already close before Oliver died, and that of course we found support and comfort in each other after he died. How dare he say that's unhealthy? I insist that kicking her out is out of the question, and she's staying in my son's life. He can either accept it or get out of my life, and we started arguing a bit more. I said, I don't remember half the things we said because I was so mad, sad, and disappointed. And at some point in the middle of the conversation, he tells me something along the lines of, please, this may be my mother's last chance to be a grandmother, like he already told me, but the previous night, like he told me the previous night when we called. I said again that I am really sorry for her, but this is not our responsibility. I also said that I would have loved it if she had become a grandmother to my son in a healthy way, but that she had pretty much blown her chances with the attitude of the previous night, and he got furious about this. The last thing we talked about, and I still can't believe these words came out of his mouth, before I stormed off out of his house, was how Pete didn't think I would be with him right now if Oliver was still alive. I was speechless for a few minutes. I swear, I told him that it was so unfair. I can't possibly know what my life would have been like in that scenario, or how I would feel about Oliver, about Pete, or about anyone else. I also said I'm not apologizing for having loved and having been happy with another man years before I even knew him. He died 8 years ago. I even knew him for whatever parallel universe he's made up in his mind that I'm not in control of. I also told him that I wished he was half as good a person as Oliver was. Now I see this was very wrong and low of me, and I should never have said that. But I was just not thinking at that point. Imagine how I felt about that. I would not have seen this coming in a million years, because he never even once has had, apparently, because he obviously has, any issues with me being a widow. I guess he was just ruminating all of his feelings on his own until this came to a breaking point. Everything about me prioritizing Oliver's mom over his own mother most have triggered him so much, if he was already feeling insecure about how I might still feel about Oliver. We yelled at each other for a while, then I became sick of the situation. I told him that in case it wasn't already obvious, the wedding was canceled and that I didn't want to see him again, though I will have to see him tomorrow at work. I get home about midnight, get a shower, and about 1 a.m. I get a call from Carla. She's practically begging me not to cancel the wedding and give them another chance. She was crying. I felt really bad for her. We were talking for almost 45 minutes, and I was already exhausted of everything. I said I was sorry, but I was not going back on my decision. So yeah, right now I'm heartbroken, and I feel so stupid, like I said. I don't know what happened to the man I've been in love with for these 3 years. I feel like everything went so wrong so fast. I guess he just saved me years of progressive disappointment by blowing it all in just 2 days. Better now than when we're already married, I guess. Even if I feel like shit right now, I think I did the right thing, and it'll be okay. I'm putting my son first, and of course my mother-in-law stays with us for as long as she wants to have us. Iconic.
My baby alarm's going off.
The baby alarm. Or the anti-baby alarm, technically. What was the one we read earlier? I love that my chair rocks. It's very nice. It's a nice little stem. The person who posted the one about their shitty mother-in-law trying to take their ill child, their username is Melody Beep Bop. And then the one with the great husband, his wife's name is Melody. That's kind of weird. There was one we read earlier where this woman, her daughter is terminally ill, not even 3 years old, and is in hospice care at this point and isn't going to make it too much longer. And her mother-in-law wants to take the child with her on a trip across the country to Disney World without the parents of the child. Like the mother-in-law and the father-in-law want to take the dying child with them by themselves to Disney World during the last few weeks of this child's life.
I would never. No, that child is staying with me.
Absolutely.
That child is staying with me. Because I'm not missing a single moment.
No, that's what she said. That's essentially what she came to.
No.
That's how. It's a very long post, and that's eventually what ended up happening. And the child, she was out of hospice 4 weeks ago after having gone into remission, but the cancer returned, and it's now crushing her optic nerve, which is about 8 centimeters long. And with something like that, flying could kill her. Like faster, and you want to fly to Disney World, which is on the other side of the country, and for a whole week also, and this is not even a 3-year-old child. The child's never been away from the parents for this long, and the mother was like, I mean, maybe we can go on a short trip for a shorter, period of time where we're there, because they said they'd taken her to Disney World several times, and she got really exhausted after like one day. So a whole week was not going to happen, even if the child was healthy. The child was really exhausted after a day, and the mother-in-law would not cave and would not negotiate or anything, and she was like, no, get the fuck out of my life. Absolutely not. Yeah. And then the husband was trying to, like, negotiate between the two. He wasn't, like, fully siding with the mother, but wasn't fully siding with his mother, but wasn't fully siding with her.
No, you need to side with your wife on this.
Yeah, it's so fucked up. I can't imagine dealing with a dying child, but then having to add a shitty-ass mother-in-law on top of it. No. Absolutely not. She said she's planning on leaving her husband after the child dies because he's really shown his true colors over the past few months or so and during the situation. And she doesn't want anything to do with his family afterwards either. And I'm like, you do you, girl. Because her parents are super great and super awesome. All of the family really lives really close to each other. His family and her family all live pretty close by. But her family has always been around, has been helpful, always come to them to visit, whereas his parents want the child to come to them to visit, and this is a ill child, so she sounds like she's got a fantastic family behind her, which is really great, because she's really going to need it when this child passes, but she said that they had talked, she talked with her husband and said that this relationship is over as soon as her child is gone. Which probably would have happened anyways, even if they'd been in a healthy relationship beforehand. Because she said he's kind of been like this their whole relationship. Very like.
Child will split people.
Yeah, that's even the healthiest of relationships rarely survive the death of especially a child that young.
It's a really, really high percentage.
It's like 80 plus. It's over 80%. It's over 80%. And especially it goes up. And the younger the child is when it dies, the higher the percentage is. After like a year or so. Kids who die after a few months, not as much, but like if the child's been around longer than a year or so, the younger the child is when it dies, and the more gruesome the death is, the more likely they are to break up. So
I mean, it depends on a lot of scenarios, but like there's always like some degree of like blame that happens when the child dies. So
even if it's cancer. Like there's no one to blame but cancer. Like, that's not... We didn't give the child cancer. That's not how this works.
People also grieve in drastic you're grieving so externally and you just feel like someone else is not truly sad because they grieve internally.
Yeah, because men especially grieve differently than women do a lot of the time. So, but she said that her husband's kind of always been like this. That he's always been kind of meh.
Someone
with his mother especially. So
an unbalanced relationship with their parents, that's a big deal breaker to me. Like, not necessarily that they have a bad relationship with their parents or a good relationship with their parents, but that they aren't like fully aware of the nature of their relationship with their parents. That's a deal breaker. If they have a toxic relationship with their parents, no, I'm not about that. You have to have a healthy one or no one, and that's what I'm okay with.
Yeah. In the one I was gonna move on to a different post if it's about the same.
I was just gonna say, to be fair, my relationship with my parents is a little toxic, but like,
yeah,
you know, it's not that kind of toxic.
Yeah. No, it's not.
I'm not gonna side with my parents over my significant other if that's justified.
Yeah.
So, you know.
In the post with the great husband that I mentioned earlier, in it, his mom, the one who threw away the rotisserie chicken, the pregnant lady's rotisserie chicken. The audacity! That woman is lucky she's alive. You don't fuck with the pregnant lady's cravings. You don't do that. Not if you value your life. But his mom said, my mom went on about how I'm choosing another woman over her.
Another woman? There is no other woman. The wife is.
It's called having a wife, Mom. That's how that's supposed to work.
Your son isn't married to you.
Yeah.
There's no other
how
woman.
gross is that?
That's so creepy.
That's so creepy. It's so creepy. He said down here, where is it? A lot of you have mentioned emotional incest, which is creeping me out. And other things along the lines that need to be addressed. Yeah, that's emotional incest. That's what that is. It's so creepy. Like, it was already bad, but then he said that and I went, huh. Should I call and harass my brother about the fact that he's not responded to my text messages?
Yeah, it would be nice if you could. I mean, you can do it whenever. It just needs to happen, like...
soon, yeah. I just want to see their new doggos. I don't even need to see them. I mean, I would like to see them, but I just want to see the new doggo.
If you could do that by Thursday, that would be great, because I'd really like to be able to buy the tickets before we leave.
Oh, absolutely. We need to buy them before we leave.
If you could do that by end of business on Thursday, that would be great.
End of business.
By close of business, please have called your brother.
Yes. That's going to be it for today. That actually went on longer than I expected it to. I expected it to be a short stream today. We had a lot of really good stories today. A lot of really good ones today. So obviously this will be up on the VOD channel if we missed anything. If you missed anything, you can watch it there.
You can see about the chicken.
Yes. So Rookie is gone already, but if Rookie wanted to learn about the chicken, then Rookie could. I will see y'all tomorrow. I don't know what we'll be doing, but I'll see you tomorrow for it. Thanks for hanging out. Goodbye.